Magnet mission log. Stardate, whatever. I am on a strange planet with my friends and colleagues, Brandon T. McClure, Sparks Whitty, and Ryan Iliopoulos. We are on a deserted planet with no signs of intelligent life anywhere. Right now, Sparks just opened up the last beer that we have, and I am kind of mad at him for it.
It's Baja Blast, actually.
Now I'm even more upset because that was the last Baja Blast that I was saving for.
We only had 2 drinks.
Captain, permission to remove Sparks so we can share the Baja Blast.
No, unfortunately, we need him. He's our science guy, so we kind of need him.
I got a weapon to get the Baja Blast back.
We're not gonna kill Sparks to get the Baja Blast back. What part of we need him because he's our science guy do you fools not understand?
This is too important.
I got compressed air.
I got a whole case downstairs.
He's hoarding! He's hoarding!
You guys see that? Look at that.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right, welcome everyone to episode 280.
We have already gone off the rails.
Way off the rails. I was trying to do something with the Buzz Lightyear mission log because that's what we're doing. We're talking about Lightyear today. Also, a whole bunch of other news. I have been gone for 2 weeks, so it's good to be back. And boy, howdy, what did I miss?
Just the normal shit. We talked about bologna and sandwiches.
Did I miss dinosaurs? I feel like I missed dinosaurs.
Hold on. Let me just play let me play last week's episode for you. We'll just wait 3 hours.
3 hours later. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, Ben, you missed a review of a movie
that saw.
Exists.
That it exists.
That's there.
It's there.
Introduce us, Ben.
I already did.
He did.
He did?
He named us in his...
Were you not listening?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was... Oh, okay, fine. I'm going to do links now.
Link time, baby.
You're right. I wasn't actually listening to it.
Brandon's hitting the grill. He's gonna put down some links for us.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. That's
Sausage
funny.
links.
Okay. Just today, actually. Oh, by the way, so there are 2 episodes specifically that should have audio versions. They are not up yet. The week got away from me. Today was awful, so they're going up this week.
In defense of the pause menu one, I only dropped it to you like 4 hours ago. So
and a normal Sunday, that would have been plenty of time to put it up. But yes. So speaking of pause menu, that is the first link in the description. Our Basement Arcade pause menu, specifically you guys, did a Basement Arcade pause menu for Summer Game Fest.
Hell yeah, baby! Tons of indie games, a couple big ones. But if you want to see what the hottest games coming out in 2022 and 2023 that probably cost less than $30, this is the video to watch.
That's linked below. We have a Fake Nerds Watch for Strange New Worlds, episode 6. Yes, 6.
Yes, sir.
The hard one. And Fake Nerds Watch for The Boys, the first 4 episodes of The Boys.
Yep.
That is now up.
The Boys, that.
Very excited. The Boys is great, guys. No secret there. And there's a couple of Jurassic pieces that I want to do in kind of a lead up into this. So first up, Sparks was kind enough to put up, obviously, the Jurassic World Dominion review that we did last week. That is its own separate video. And Sparks did an archive for us for the 2018 Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. If you want to hear our initial thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, that video is now up on YouTube.
Yeah, audio only.
Yeah, it's an insane video compared to the fact that Sparks and I also did a discussion. We were the only 2 who decided to watch all the Jurassic films before Jurassic World Dominion, so we did a discussion.
I just didn't know we were doing that.
It wasn't planned. We realized we had both done it, so we decided to talk about them.
That makes more sense than what you said.
Yeah. Who's the train whistle?
That was my house.
Okay, I was like, who's going?
Oh, there.
I don't have a wall behind me, so
it's
all
the door.
audio.
It's that door to the kitchen, the sliding one. That's what that sound was.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This is an illusionary wall.
I recall that door. Yes, it was an unplanned, impromptu Jurassic Park discussion that we decided to do. So that's there. That was quite a lot of fun. A lot of it was specifically. I think Sparks and I were especially excited to do it because we get to talk about our shared love of the Lost World Jurassic Park.
It's true.
Into the tall grass.
And we also, I also talked about my newfound love of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
So that is there. And if you want a fun contrast, listen to my very angry thoughts on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in the first video.
You listened to that, huh?
I did.
Yeah,
Wild.
yeah.
Wild. It's not even necessarily that I disagree with myself. It's just weird how like the edges were shaved down.
It's very funny. That's one of the reasons I wanted the audio one up, is because Brandon's like hardcore into Fallen Kingdom now. And like I was definitely more favorable, but I'm like I chalked that almost entirely up to like I knew what I was getting into.
Sure.
So I was like, all right, yeah, okay.
Now because of the Switch, it's probably still too far. It's probably still too close to it, but maybe like a few more years down the line, I would like to maybe sit down with Brandon and have him watch Crimes of Grindelwald just to see if he changes his mind.
Oh no, baby! Oh no,
No,
that
we
won't
know.
change.
Sometimes you just know when things are bad.
No. I will. It will be a cold day in hell before I watch another Harry Potter movie. No, sorry, a Fantastic Beasts movie, I should say specifically.
Yeah, so actually, I want to say a few weeks ago when I forgot what we were recording. It probably was when we were recording the main show last time I was on. Fanny watched Secrets of Dumbledore, and she fell asleep halfway through. That's all you probably need to know about that movie.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I knew everything I needed to know about that movie months ago.
Did you know that a deer picks the president of the magic?
Did you know that there's a president of all of the magical people?
Yeah, that's something that was definitely in all of the other Harry Potter things that we watched.
Yeah.
we can't
Wait.
do this now. We can't do this.
Honestly, I just watched the honest trailers for it.
Hold
and
on.
I was like,
Wait.
yeah.
A
Do you know how
deer?
this works? Yeah,
A deer?
it's like Groundhog Day. It's like a magical deer that Newt Scamander finds for the government of magic. There's now a magical president that gets picked by a deer who goes up to you and you're like, you're the guy.
I think what I want is someone to compile, like, if they make more of those movies, which I doubt they will, but if they do, I want someone to compile all the facts from those movies that we don't watch, and then just have a recording session where we sit down, someone just reads a list of like, is this real or is this not?
That's the thing of like the deer thing doesn't even baffle me all that much, because you have to shoehorn in a Fantastic Beasts somehow. It's the fact that we've had 20 years of this franchise and more with the books, and we have never ever heard that there is a singular person that runs every single magical government in the world.
And somehow Grindelwald is now the person who might be it.
Yeah.
Which that's also bullshit, because you have the Prime Minister of Magic in England.
But that's the thing. This guy that I'm talking about is above them.
Yeah.
I hate that.
He's like the president of Earth.
I declare officially, if they make more of those movies, we're doing the episode where we have not watched them. We're just gonna read facts, man.
Yeah,
that would be wild.
I agree with that, because I do not want to see another Fantastic Beasts movie for the rest of my life.
And yet you were willing to put me through Crimes of Grindelwald again?
Well, because I've already seen, I knew what I was getting myself into, and it was mostly so I can watch you and your reaction.
It will still be angry. Anyway, who knows where I'll be with Jurassic World Dominion? Who knows?
True.
I don't think my Dominion opinion will change that drastically, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the show links. Yes, that's all the show links. So check out those links. Especially the Basement Arcade Summer Games Fest and the Jurassic ones. I think those two are particularly awesome, and you should check those out.
It's true. I put a lot of work into that Summer Game Fest one, so I'd appreciate if somebody watched it.
I was about to say that Ryan did good producing for that one.
He did.
And it's in full glorious HD quality, which this is not.
Yeah. Real quickly, Grayson, Ben, if you could take a look at the chat real quick. Just the first one, not the second one.
Just the first one. Isn't the Scary Thomas the Tank Engine?
I want to bring that up. Is that out yet?
No, but we did talk about it in the pause menu, and Ben is very afraid, and we are very excited.
Also, peeking behind the curtain a little bit, today I met up with Grayson and we recorded some more Super Mario 3D World, and I mentioned to him about this game, and he was all like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, not into it." He's like, "Oh, but sounds so fun." I'm like, "No, it does not."
Choo Choo Charles, check it out.
Speaking of Grayson, there are 2 episodes for Super Mario 3D World in the description below. 37 and 38 are there, Ben?
That's there. Yep, they're there. We're still going through. I totally forgot what we were talking about in both those episodes because we recorded those a while ago.
I did too, and I watched them this week. I apologize.
Don't worry.
Thank you for watching.
I really appreciate
there was jumping and wahoos.
There was a lot of jumping, a lot of wahoos.
There was a lot of frustration But that could have
Oh.
been last week because of the
No,
lava level.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about because one of them's was you have like these pads where they instantly force you into a run, and you can't control very well while you're in said run.
Yeah,
And
that one. That one was hell to watch, man.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. As Grayson says, a lot of depth perception issues.
Okay, look at me. Look at me, Grayson. I don't buy it.
Make your excuses.
Make your excuses. I'm kidding. Yeah. So that's in the description below. Ben, you also have a big announcement this week.
Oh yeah, I do.
Your Old School Gamer magazine. I won't say the announcement, but the Old School Gamer magazine. You can buy a subscription. I've linked the purchase link below because
This is this issue right here, issue number 28.
this issue number. Oh shit.
Issue number 28 has my first ever published American article.
Very cool,
So
sir.
it's
Congratulations.
Hell yeah.
I want to show you. Probably won't show up, but there's my picture right there.
It's your
Look at
Mega
that.
Man. Your little Mega Man.
Audio
Yeah.
listeners, it's him as Mega Man.
Yeah, it's me and my Mega Man helmet. When they first saw that picture, I forgot what I was using it for. They thought it was awesome and hilarious, and they thought that the Zelda cart I was holding up was actually a beer mug. They're like, "Yeah, pull up the one with you and the beer." It's like it's a Zelda cartridge, but okay.
Do you want to say anything about the article's contents?
Yes, I do. It is actually an interview, so it's not just like one of my normal Fusion or my OSG blog posts. It's an actual one-on-one interview with a gentleman by the name of Gunther Vincent. When I was introduced to him, my editor of the magazine essentially described him as the AutoZone for arcade parts because he not only orders spare parts from Arcade 1-Up, iArcade, and AtGames, but he also has a bunch of 3D printers and prints his own.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
Yeah, so he prints parts for arcades. So like he prints one of the things he prints is like certain four direction for your joystick, so it doesn't go in a full circle. It only goes up, down, left, and right. And also something I thought was really nice, he even 3D prints cases and displays for the Nintendo Game & Watches, the newer ones, the Zelda and the Mario one, because he saw the Zelda one, which is made out of cardboard. The mine's fine; it's still working, and it's not like crumbled up or anything. But he saw that it was made of cardboard. And he's like, "No, I can do better." Because when this first came out, the Mario one, it didn't have a display case. The Zelda one does, but still, it's only made out of cardboard. So he 3D prints one, and it's in the same color scheme of the unit, and it's really, really cool.
That's I didn't even consider because like 3D printing has so many avenues you can go. I didn't even consider like making parts for machines that aren't popular or like new anymore. That's brilliant. That is such a good niche market to be in.
Yeah. So if you have like a arcade 1-Up, like those custom arcade or no, not those custom ones, but those smaller arcade cabinets that are a lot more affordable than a real one.
Yeah.
Say like a button goes missing or something happens and a button gets broken, you can buy a replacement part from him.
Probably cheaper too.
Probably. And also on certain arcade cabinets, you can even put speakers. You can have he 3D print stuff to go over the speaker. So it's a little more customized.
That's awesome.
I gotta tell you, if I had a 3D printer, I would just be printing out life-size Lego things.
Oh man.
Yeah, I would have 100 different Evangelion figures.
Right?
So there's this cosplayer I follow, and she 3D printed Mira's sword from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It's a crazy RPG, crazy sword design. Ryan, you might know her because she's Pyrrha and Mira from Smash Bros.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sword right now.
She's the one in white. Yeah, she 3D printed the whole sword, painted it, sanded it, and it looks absolutely stunning. If I had a 3D printer, I would be 3D printing all my favorite video game weapons all day, every day.
Absolutely.
Well, Ben, congratulations on the published article. I'm really happy for you. Really proud of you.
Thank you.
Ryan.
Hey.
Your YouTube channel is linked below once again.
It is. I did something this week. I played and finished Asura's Wrath, which is just one of the most incredible original action games I've ever played in my life. I played it 10 years ago, but now as like an adult, and I have so much more of an appreciation for anime and Dragon Ball Z and all these other things. Like it wears its inspirations on its sleeve, and it's just so well done because it's basically just like it's like a 6-hour anime with button imprompts. And there's some what's it called, brawling. There's some like brawling you do, but it's mostly cutscenes like a Telltale game. But it's just such a great time. And it turns out I beat the game, and then it says, "Oh, you beat the game, but you didn't get the secret true ending." And I'm like, "Well, how do I get the secret true ending?" He's like, "Well, you have to get S rank in over 5 missions." And I was like, "Oh, I clearly did that, and I did it in 4 missions." And I'm like, "God damn it. So now I have to go back. I'm going to play one easy mission so I can unlock it, so I can get the true ending, because I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
That's pretty great.
It's anime stuff.
Check out
what does it mean?
check out those linked below. And then once again, my Screen Rant work is linked below. There are 3 articles that were published this week. 2 of them are Jurassic World ones. One of them is a reference, like some references from Jurassic World Dominion. I think I missed my favorite one, which, whatever. Unless it's useless anyway. And I have a 9 best new dinosaurs from Jurassic World Dominion, which I was pretty happy to get. And happy to realize that there were more than 5 new dinosaurs in that movie.
Good.
But I got to talk about how disappointing the Giganotosaurus was and how cool the Therizinosaurus was. So that was fun.
Xenosaurus is the one with the super long claws, right?
Therizinosaurus.
Therizinosaurus.
Yeah, and yes, it's the one with the long claws.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that dinosaur a lot. He's in. You should check a Prehistoric Planet because he's in that.
Does he look better or worse?
About the same.
Or I mean, the design looks the same. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same.
Cool.
She in because the context of Jurassic World Dominion, she's supposed to be like a pure dinosaur, whereas others aren't. So she's supposed to look like how she did back then. And so it matched up very well with the Prehistoric Planet version.
Awesome.
And
I apologize. I was just distracted because I realized that I forgot to link Brandon's Indominus Rex article in one of the videos, and I just did it.
Oh, that's not linked below, but that will be linked below in the videos momentarily.
Yeah.
And I have a Lightyear video. Not video. You got me all mixed up.
This is the Lightyear video.
I have a Lightyear list about all the voice actors who have voiced Buzz Lightyear in the American films and video games, and there have been a surprising amount of them. I was pleasantly surprised I was able to get.
Are you telling
6?
me? Are you telling me Tim Allen has not been the only Buzz Lightyear our entire life? Is that what you're telling me? People need to relax.
Oh, no. Yeah.
But who voiced him in Kingdom Hearts 3?
I forgot the guy's name. I'm so sorry.
Tim Allen.
Tim Allen does do some of the shorts though. But there is a guy.
Oh well, yeah.
But not all the shorts. There's specifically he didn't do the original short films.
Yeah.
For Toy Story, that was someone else. And then there's like other. You know how like Tom Hanks, his brother, does Woody whenever it's not Tom Hanks. There's a version of that for Buzz Lightyear.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is the one in Kingdom Hearts.
Is it Bob Allen?
I was gonna. Ben, I was 1 second away.
And you know what's really great is I get to talk about Patrick Warburton's performance in Buzz Lightyear Star Command. So, all right, that's all my Screen Rant work that happened this week. But the final link in the description is also the only other thing I published this week, which is number 36. Yeah, 36 for revisiting the Infinity Saga, my series. Talking about what I believe are the 50th greatest moments of the MCU. I always knew I was going to fudge this one, and I figured I'd do it sooner rather than later. And I just did Stan Lee. So instead of talking about one moment, I talked about 23 moments.
Fair.
And I talk about like how important Stan Lee was to the MCU's early success, how fun it became to see him, and how much his presence is missed.
It was because after reading your article, I would definitely say it was always a happy moment in any Marvel film, no matter what it was, to see the Stan Lee cameo, because it was always something that just popped up out of nowhere. You never knew when it was going to happen, but you knew it was going to be in there. And like part of the fun of going to see a brand new Marvel film, especially in the early days, was where is Stan going to be? You got to keep an open eye out for Stan. And whenever he pops up, it's like so good.
What were we going to say, Ryan?
Oh, I already forgot it.
Oh, okay.
It literally was not important.
Okay. So yeah, that was fun to write about. It's a little shorter than I could probably make a longer version if I really set out to do, but I wanted this one to be like kind of short and sweet. So I've been toying with maybe making longer versions of these things for my blog. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet because I got to write this thing first, but I don't know. We'll see.
Can you bring up Mag's comment real quick?
Yeah. I was going to pull it up. No worries.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Just saw The Thing from 1982 for its 40th anniversary today in theaters. Ryan,
most jealous I've ever been anyone of my life right now.
All right, that's all the links below. Check them out. Have a good time. We certainly did. Who wants to go first of the week?
I'll start.
Go ahead.
So I talked about last week watching Chernobyl, and I watched the first 4 episodes of Chernobyl, and I expected that to be, a 6, 8, 10 episode series. I had only 1 episode left. It was a 5 episode miniseries. It ends incredibly strong. The final episode is a trial of the people who made the mistake in Chernobyl, who let it happen. And it is so harrowing because it's the real life account of the trial. So all that shit is the real stuff that they presented and said. And like when you put like a side by side of all the people, like a lot of them look really similar to the real people, which is always fun when you get actors who are really good, but also look like the people that they're playing. Whether it's a mix of special effects, prosthetics or not. Just again, like that being a real thing that happened, and seeing like how Russia handled it and how the government handled it, and just the way that they killed their own people to cover up something. It's really crazy. It's a really crazy thing. In the last 15 minutes of the episode, you know how like at the end of movies they'll be like, oh, Johnny went and played football and did this, and it's all the real life accounts of every single person and everything that happened over the next 30 years since the event happened. And it's tragic. This is not a happy story. Everyone died early. Everyone got sick from it. It's just the thing that's like, it's just so well made. It's an incredible show. And again, I watched it because this is maybe someone's first podcast listening. These people who made Chernobyl are making the Last of Us show. And I am 200%, I believe that show is going to be incredible. If it's half the show Chernobyl is, it's going to win awards, like no doubt. Like it's so meticulously, expertly made. Like there are very few TV shows that are like so precise in what it's trying to do and make you feel a certain way. And it's bad. It makes you feel bad. That's what it's doing. But it's so well done. And that put me in a really sad mood. So I changed it up and I started watching One Punch Man because there's a podcast on Giant Bob called Jeff's Bizarre Adventure, and they're doing a recap of the JoJo Bizarre Adventure TV show. So I started to watch that, but they also just started a One Punch Man rewatch show. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to start that too, I guess. So I started to rewatch One Punch Man, and it's been 5 or 6 years since I watched that show. So my memory of it's very bad because, I consumed so much entertainment over the last 6 years, literally hundreds of things. Like I remember the big stuff, not the minute stuff. I love One Punch Man, y'all. Who here has seen One Punch Man? Ben, have you seen it? Okay, you need to watch the show, my guy. We have news about One Punch Man actually coming up soon, which is really cool. That is one of the most. It's just so fun, and the premise is so good. He is the strongest person on the planet. He is so bored. He's a hero for fun. Like he's sleeping until something like destroys his house. And he's like, well, I guess I'll take care of it now. It's just the characters are so fun, and the more I get involved with it, like the more I realize like. This is a show about the universe, and it's not really even like about him. Like it's about him, but like he's just like going through the life of like, I'm just a dude living life. And like there's so many other characters, and everything's a 10 out of 10, and he's like at a 1 out of 10. And I love that every time he meets a villain, the villain's like, this is my backstory, it's the craziest thing ever. And then he just kills the villain instantly. Like instantly. There'll be a 4-minute monologue, and then he gets killed instantly. And that's like that for every single episode. And it's just like, it's so crazy to have your main protagonist be like the quote unquote weakest part of the show, but that's by design. It's just so fascinating. It's such a interesting take on having a main protagonist like Mary Sue character. Because he's just bored out of his mind half the time because nothing's ever a challenge to him. I love it. Absolutely love it. And then I finished Asura's Wrath, and I'm sure I did way more than the last thing I did. But I started a hype train, y'all, and I got all of you to watch a great movie called RRR. I'm sure it wasn't me, but it was definitely me. That movie, and we can have a quick little discussion here, y'all. It's like the highest grossing Indian movie ever made. It's also like the most expensive, but like it was only $70 million, which is not a lot of money in terms of like blockbuster stuff. That top 10 list, y'all, is getting cemented more and more every time a week goes by.
I saw that. I also, as Ryan alluded to, I also watched RRR.
Yes.
And I told Sparks about this because I saw you the next day, Sparks. I said that top 10 list is gonna be real wrong. the one that I said on the anniversary special.
I mean, just like RRR is a 3-hour epic drama, comedy, musical, action adventure movie. And I could say all those words because Indian movies tend to be long, and they tend to be every genre possible because they're just trying to tell a complete story in any way they need to. RRR takes place in the 1940s during the partition when colonialism is rampant in India. and it's about a freedom fighter and an Indian cop who end up joining forces to take them down. And I know you also watched the Sparks. It's there's so much hype behind this movie, and no amount of hype can prepare you for this movie. Like truly, it is one of the most accomplished action movies while also being a funny romantic dramedy with real stakes, with real drama, while also having Dragon Ball Z fights at times. Like it's like one of a kind. It's truly one of a kind.
Yeah, it's like it's one of the best anime adaptations of no anime.
Yeah,
that's ever existed.
Ben, have you seen anything from? Because I know you didn't watch the movie. Have you seen anything from RRR?
I've seen, I want to say, 2 clips from Ryan's Twitter.
Yes.
The first one being where I think they're doing like a square dancing battle. I don't know.
No. So what happens is oftentimes Bollywood and Tollywood films are musicals. It started because they just really loved American musicals and they wanted to make them all the time. And that's just kind of become tradition after a while.
I'm guessing you watched Patrick Williams' video, Brandon.
Oh no, I dated a.
Oh no, I'm just asking as well because like he put up a video about it, so I just assumed you would have watched it.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. No.
Cool.
But I my ex and actually my current girlfriend, they told me like a lot of the history of that sort of thing. So it's not a square dancing thing. What's happened? It's a dance battle. And I was kind of sitting there going like, yeah, this is really good. Yeah, this is really good. This is really good. And the dance battle started. I was like, this is the greatest movie ever. And then it just never stopped being the greatest movie ever.
It's the other clip I saw that really piqued my interest was one dude on another dude's shoulders, and the dude on the dude's shoulders has 2 rifles, and he's just like shooting. I'm like, this is straight out of an anime.
It's live action anime.
Rom is very attractive.
So
it's they're all hot. Everyone in that movie is attractive.
But Rom especially so, I must say.
Yeah.
So you have definitely piqued my interest with RRR. And then the fact that all 3 of you saw it, I'm like, oh man, I missed out.
Actually, Sparks and I watched it at the same time.
Yeah, we watched it at the same time, but not in the same location.
Yeah, that was funny. We want to say something, Sparks, about RRR?
I mean, like, what can be said at this point, right? Like, it should be seen. I had a wonderful experience watching it completely. I would not be shocked if we end up doing a special talking about it. I don't know that we'll be able to help ourselves.
I legitimately watched it this week and I already want to rewatch it because 3 hours is a long time.
I had the whole thing on earlier today while I was editing. It was on in the background.
Good.
And initially, and a lot of people that I saw online, initially, because it's on Netflix, but it's not in its original Telugu language. It's in Hindi. I wasn't going to watch it until somebody on Twitter told me the original actors dubbed their own lines in Hindi. So all of the actors are doing their own lines. And I was like, oh, then I have no reason not to watch it. So it's incredible.
It's still worth doing. I do want to see like the actual audio of their performances because it does sound there's a cannedness to it in the mix against the sound effects.
Yeah,
that makes it it doesn't sound like I can hear that they're in a studio sometimes. And I don't want to hear that. It is noticeable. And I want to hear the original track. It doesn't mean like don't watch the movie because of that. Like absolutely watch the movie, but I'm definitely itching to hear like the original audio without that canned sound to it.
Absolutely, I agree.
I agree with that as well. Ray Stevenson is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Volstagg himself. That was fun.
The best Punisher.
Man. That movie. It's a bromance. It's like an incredible bromance that starts with 2 people ballet saving a kid from a burning lake, and then ends with them tossing a motorcycle, punching a motorcycle and tossing it.
It is a bromance. And what I love is like there's no. In like an American movie, they would not go as hard as this friendship goes. They are immediately like skipping through fields, doing piggyback rides.
There's a friendship montage.
There's a montage of them.
Excuse you. It's an anime intro that comes 40 minutes in.
Right.
Be honest about what it is.
It's
also about their friendship, but it's an anime intro.
Yeah.
The song that's playing is so on the nose, and they play like two brothers who are mortal enemies. Will this end in bloodshed? It plays 4 times in the movie, and each time it's done by a different person.
There's like no, and this isn't a bad thing. There's no subtlety. Everything. It's like theater. It's like watching a live action anime theatrical play. Because everyone is at 10, all the emotions are just there. If anyone has something that they're feeling, they just say it. They just say it, and it's so authentic while also being insane. And that's just like, that's their industry. And I'm like, I'm honestly gonna start watching more Indian movies. Like when I was a teenager, I was such a film nerd, and I watched so many movies from other countries, and then I reverted back to mostly American shit. But I'm just like, God, like the world is so big, and there's so many different places that make so many different types of movies. And I'm like, this opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my God.
There's also
streaming service.
To be fair, it's become a lot easier for us to find foreign films because they're getting much bigger distributions now.
True.
Can I go now, Brandon?
Yes.
Okay, there's a streaming service for those films. That's where you can get the original. It's the only way to stream the original language for this film. It just costs $30 a month, which is steep.
That's why I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I really loved about the movie is how hard it went. It just as Ryan said, it's a 10, and it doesn't ramp up to a 10. It starts at a 10 and then ramps up from there.
I don't think it's far-fetched to say we'll do a review special. So I don't know, Ben, get on it.
There's one thing that I wanted to. Oh yes, not necessarily about the movie, but just kind of my final thing on. Because of who I dated in the past, my ex specifically showed me a lot of Bollywood romantic comedies. She really loved romantic comedies. I also really like them. They're a lot of fun. There's this one actor that I really liked in them. Like not to diss on them. But because of who she was, she never introduced me to like the action films. So I've always been very eager to watch an Indian action film because I know how hard they often go.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I finally got to see one, and I'm going to start searching for more.
The director of this movie's previous work is also on Netflix, because like the thing that made him so big, he made these 2 like other epics about this one like Indian folklore guy. Mm-hmm. So like I just love being awakened to like an entirely like new thing, and I'm like, oh, this has been here the whole time. This is so great.
Not just awakened, but just seeing such a great and cool badass movie.
And the scale of it is huge. And it's like, there's obviously CGI, but like not with the people. There are truly hundreds and hundreds of extras in this movie. Yeah. The opening action scene is a dude fighting 500 people at once almost. Like it's so stupid. It's incredible.
I adored this film.
Yeah, I'm so glad it is like one of the biggest movies of the year, just worldwide. That's got such acclaim, because like when movies from other countries can break out and do that, it's like it's really special that everyone gets to enjoy that.
Did you hear that the two main characters of this have never actually met in real life?
Yeah. Oh, you mean the people they're based on?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're decades apart. Yeah.
I think that's very funny.
Yeah. It is a cool way of having 2 different revolutionary heroes combined into a like. It's an origin story of revolution. It is cool.
Making them such good friends.
Then the betrayal. The last thing I did, which I glad I remembered, was I watched 2 more episodes of Arcane. So now I'm at the point where I understand what you guys are talking about. That stuff happens, because at the end of episode 3, I was definitely crying. Really compelling stuff. I liked episode 1 a lot, but really by the time I got to episode 3, there's this one part, and it's the end of the episode. When Powder is like, "Don't leave me," and she's crying, and like the animation, it's so good. It almost, there's a point where it almost looks like real for half a second of this girl crying, and I'm like, God damn him! Damn, this is so good. The animation, it's like it really might be like the best animated thing ever. Like it's incredible. And I'm only at the point now, more stuff's gonna happen, and like characters like betray and characters die, and I'm just like, I don't even know what to expect for the next episode, and that's really exciting. So glad that second season is coming in 2029. Can't wait for it.
I'm thrilled that you're here, man.
Me too.
I wish I came earlier, but too much stuff in the world. That's what
she said.
Oh, I played 30 minutes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Nice. I only wanted to play a taste of it because I do want to play with people, but that game is exceptional.
Yeah.
Who else?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I will take that baton, and I will tell you, friends, that my summer of anime continues. I watched more of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. I finished the first season of Mob Psycho 100 and started the second, and I do want to touch on this because Ryan was talking about One Punch Man. Mob Psycho 100 is from the same author as One Punch Man. One Punch Man is great. One Punch Man is a wonderful, wonderful story, and to the author, that's when he was joking around. This is the story he really wants to be telling. So One Punch Man is great because One Punch Man is a satire on shonen. This is a story in itself. So it has its own world, its own fully fleshed out character. It's not parodying anything. It's telling its own story. But the main character has a similar thing of essentially being like unstoppably powerful. And the like thesis statement that the author one is chasing between both stories is that having the ultimate power in the universe does not mean you're happy. Mm-hmm. And that neither of the main characters are in pursuit of that as their thing. And Mob Psycho 100 is doing that beautifully. Wonderful characters, really just incredible finale. I texted Ryan specifically because I was like, you got to get on Mob Psycho 100 because the finale is like tailor-made to Ryan's tastes, but I think everybody would enjoy it. What a show. I'm very happy to be in season 2 of it. I really won't say much more because I think it's best to just go in and experience it.
I watched the trailer. I see. Yeah, it's the same guy who made One Punch Man.
Yeah. The animation is incredible. The animation stays incredible between seasons 1 and 2. Unlike One Punch Man, unfortunately, its season 2 got handed off to a different studio.
I never watched it because I heard it was bad.
It's not bad. It's just visually, the story is still the story, and the story is still good. It's just visually not as dynamic and well made visually as the first season.
Okay.
Mob Psycho 100 actually gets better in its second season. With animation, but that's a different studio doing it. I started showing Michael Godzilla Singular Point because I was trying to share back with him about anime that he might like. There's fun stuff there, so we've been watching some of that. And
you gonna talk about
that's all the anime things. But I did watch a film that was about two brotherly figures that find themselves on opposing sides of a conflict, and they are drawn to each other and they find kindred spirits within each other, but they end up having to forge themselves against their ultimate enemy and borderline romantically clinging to each other. And it's not RRR, but it's basically RRR, and it's Promare from Studio Trigger. By Uma Yushi, who does Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann, and Promare is incredible. Brandon and I watched Promare for the first time this weekend.
So I'm sure this happens to you, Ryan. When you get high, art hits you different.
Bro, why do you think I'm always high?
Yeah, it becomes part of you. It wraps you in a blanket, and it infects you.
That elevates.
And we should not have watched Promare when I was high. Because my God, there was halfway through the movie, Sparks. Do you remember? We had to pause it because I was crying.
Mm-hmm.
That's some good. That's the good shit.
It's so.
Is it? Beautiful. What is it on?
I had it on Blu-ray, so that's how we watched it. Okay. I recommend watching it in the highest definition possible. It's a 2019 film. This is also one I suspect Brandon and I will want to talk about somewhere in the near future.
Didn't we plan on it a while ago?
We did. And now I pulled the trigger. I will happily say, like, should you guys be able to watch Promare?
It's on HBO Max.
Well, there we go. So Promare, I will only tell you the setup, which is that in the world, there are people who are considered mutants. What has happened is that a geometric blue and purple fire that forms in triangles has awoken inside of them, and they are called the Burnished. And the world blames them for being what they are and for burning things. And so years go by, and they develop a society that is focused on handling the Burnished when they appear. And that means that they prioritize really intense firefighters. And that's where our opening heroes show up. So Promare.
Much like RRR, it starts at a 10 and goes from there.
Yeah. There's a lot of similar emotional stuff going on between Promare and RRR.
I'm not.
Cool.
They made good. Both Brandon and I watched RRR one night, and the next thing we watched was Promare, and they companion pieced very well.
Nice.
Like a fine wine pairing with a fine meal.
I
love
would
it.
love to watch Promare again. I would love to discuss it with y'all in the future. That
Easy
might
money.
happen.
I'm
It
not.
might happen with RRR. Who knows?
I'm exaggerating only because I am high now, but I was high when I watched it. But I am not kidding you when I say that I was sobbing by the end of that movie. Not because of obviously the emotions in all of Trigger, especially the director's stuff goes very hard. That's kind of a staple of what I've come to love of them. But just the beautiful visuals and how the story escalated. I'm in love, guys. You know when a movie changes your life.
Mhm. I do.
That's Promare.
Hell yeah.
I also watched Miss Marvel, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and The Boys.
Yes.
I won't really say anything about them because we are making Fake Nerds Watch specials, so await those. Miss Marvel will drop soon, so you'll hear our thoughts on the first 2 episodes very soon. Brandon and I also showed Shin Godzilla to our friend Michael, so I rewatched that. Great film.
Excellent movie.
And Strange New Worlds, I watched this week's episode. Really enjoyed it. Still like that show. Highly recommend.
I really want to talk to you about that ending.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Am I invited?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
But you could just talk to me about it too. Like,
Oh, sure.
it's a big reveal that for anybody. It's a pretty big reveal for anybody who has been following the show and is not sure where the direction was going.
Well, don't spoil it.
It's something that I was shocked but really excited to see.
Okay. Solid. And the last thing I'll bring up is just that I did get to play a little bit of gaming, and the gaming was Aliens Fireteam Elite, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And there's a video coming in the near-ish future.
I was very excited that we finally got to go back to Fireteam Elite.
Me too.
That level design is excellent.
Top notch.
Yeah. All right. Is that all, Sparks?
That is.
Why not, Ben? You want to go next, or should I?
I mean, you can go next. I got a pretty long one.
All right, but considering like half of mine has already been done, I'll go next. As Spark said, Shin Godzilla. We mentioned RR. Great film. Love that movie. One of the best of the year. One of my favorites of the year. Promare. One of my favorites ever. In love with that movie. Strange New Worlds. Great episode. Some of the other things I did are I finished The Mighty Thor, which is the entire Jane Foster run. So now Jane Foster is no longer Thor again. Spoiler alert, doesn't happen by the end of the book.
Mangog?
It's the Mangog arc, yeah.
That guy's goofy. I love him.
That was an excellent arc. And the ending for Jane Foster, there's some... One of the things I really love about... I don't know if I've mentioned too much about this, but like one of the things I really love about Jason Aaron's Thor is, much like I've been saying with like RR and Promare, like it's always big. It's always grand. They don't do anything subtle. It's all big and bombastic, and everything is the biggest thing ever happening. Mm-hmm. And I think that really works really well because obviously that's the character of Thor. You need to have something like that. And so, but the way it's handled is in such an emotional way. It's very cool. The stuff with Jane Foster, it took me a bit to clue into it, what it was actually about, but it's about what Jason Aaron's whole run has always been about, which is what it means to be a god and what it means to be worthy of being a god, not just, and that's being done through Jane Foster being worthy of Mjolnir and Thor not. And so he goes through this whole thing of like, well, what does it mean to be worthy of Mjolnir? And by extension, what does it mean to be a god? What does it mean to be worthy of the people who worship us? Great stuff. Great storytelling. The ending had me crying. There's an excellent scene with Odin and Thor on the moon with the god of all storms, the mother storm that was once inside Mjolnir, and beautiful moment. Had me in tears.
Love it.
And then I started Thor, which is the finale of Aaron's run. I'm in the home stretch now. Odinson is back to being Thor, and he's got a bunch of hammers, and he's in hell with his brother. It's great because Tyr, Thor, Balder, and Loki are all in hell, and Tyr's like, the Odinson brothers are back again, and it's really cute.
Reunion.
And he's got this big mustache that Loki threatens to cut off. He's like, not the mustache. Hela is trying to take back Hel from Boulder. All the while, the War of the Realms is happening in the background, and Malekith is being a real son of a bitch.
Yo, Spider-Man rides a Pegasus in that tie-in.
I'm excited for that.
Hell yeah.
So that's all the Thor I've read this week. I probably would have gotten through more, but I decided to read Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. If there's anything I've really liked about Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's how it's handled Darth Vader. I really do love seeing this version of Vader. It's a lot of fun for me. And so I was like, there's a comic I haven't read about it. So I decided to read that comic. It's Charles Soules. I have it actually here so I can say that the writer, the Giuseppe Camuncoli,
Yep,
is the artist. And so this is the third volume. I only read the first 2 volumes, which is the one where he gets his lightsaber, where he hunts down a Jedi to bleed the Kyber crystal and create a new lightsaber. And then the one that introduces the Inquisitors, and he has to fight Jocasta Nu. Jocasta Nu, I said the picture. She's got like a gun from the High Republic that you put your lightsaber in and like shoots like lightsaber blast. It's awesome.
it's very cool.
Great book. Ryan, you said this to me, or Spark said this to me, and you agreed that there's been no bad Darth Vader comic.
Yeah, there hasn't been.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's been very few bad Star Wars comics, which is insane considering how much there have been so many Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
But like the Han Solo one and Chewbacca ones are good. Like the Lando one's good. Like they're all quality. It's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I really like this run of Darth Vader. This is for those of you who don't know, this is pre A New Hope, post Revenge of the Sith, really close to Revenge of the Sith. So we're seeing the Empire build. There's some Bad Batch crossover happening, which I kind of like. And you're seeing Darth Vader kind of come into his own as Darth Vader. There's a whole bit where he's like, I feel uncomfortable. He feels uncomfortable in the suit, and he rebuilds it in a different way.
Makes it his own.
Really great stuff. Really liking how that ties into the larger Star Wars universe, especially the one we're watching now. Especially like how he's like, he wants Obi-Wan, like he longs for Obi-Wan to finish the job at this point. He wants Obi-Wan to kill him. So much so that he like fantasizes about it sometimes. Great. So it's really cool watching like the Bad Batch and Obi-Wan and seeing how that tied in.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I finished the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
I finished the first season of the Bad Batch, so all 16 episodes. I really liked it. The last 3 episodes are excellent. Sparks, you haven't finished it yet, right?
Nope.
No spoilers, obviously. But there's some really great emotional work happening in those episodes. The team really comes into their own. Awesome work, awesome writing. Really ended up delivering a solid show, and I can't wait for the second season.
Nice.
Very good.
I finished Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Won't speak too much about that, other than to say it's a very funny show. This might have been the funniest season. There's a great button at the end where Lenny Bruce is just like, you have to do this because I believe in you, because she's being a brat the whole season. But it's very funny, very relatable. I really enjoy that show. The next season is its last. And that's kind of a bummer, but I can see how they can wrap it up. We talked a bit about this when the trailer dropped, but Constantine House of Mystery. That's the Constantine short film that is set after Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. I do wish it was longer. It's only about 30 minutes. I mean, I knew it was a short, but I thought it might have been like 45 or something. But it's got some really cool lessons about John and what it says about John. And then a lot of implications that lead me to believe that, one, I don't think Matt Ryan is done playing Constantine, at least not in animation. And two, I don't think the two universes, the one that currently is going and the one that has been before, the one that we watched all those movies for, are as disconnected as we once thought. And I think that this teases a pretty cool and surprising direction for the current run of movies.
Interesting.
I hope that's how it goes. And if so, I think this is going to be really cool.
All right.
They could fumble it though. Okay, I watched The Black Phone. I did a pre-screening. There was a pre-screening, like investor screening at AMC, and so we got to see the Black Phone. I'm not going to say too much about it because I think you all are going to really like it, and we should review it next week. It's an excellent movie. Might be Scott Derrickson's best, in my opinion. And that's all I'm going to say on that.
I was looking forward to it.
Yeah. I watched the newest episode of The Orville. I've been really struggling with The Orville ever since it triggered me in the first episode. I don't think I mentioned too much about the first episode, but the way it handles suicide has been...
No, you did.
We talked about it.
So the second episode, I wasn't crazy about either, and I feel like it might have just been like residual. Like I was afraid to watch this episode because of what happened in the first episode. But then I realized that kind of what I was missing is I was expecting, the Orville to come back. But the Orville has been pretty heavy this season, and it felt jarring because the Orville was kind of like Star Trek's more lighthearted brother.
Mm-hmm.
It's not outright a comedy anymore, but it was definitely more of a kind of swashbuckling adventure story. And the first two episodes did not showcase that. They've showcased very hard, very, very emotional things. Third episode was a little bit more what I wanted to see, and I really liked the third episode. That's the episode that just dropped this past week. There's some really fun sci-fi stuff. There's some pretty cool implications for like the longevity of the show, and the show itself. Much more the kind of thing I was looking for, and I'm really happy that we finally at least got an episode to kind of reorient me back to the Orville.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And then finally, I beat Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. I just beat all the story missions. I did episodes 1 through 9. This is actually the second time I've technically seen 9. I've not seen it since theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really funny to be like, oh, I don't remember this at all, playing through that level. Very fun. It's a very fun game. It's got some excellent gameplay. There's some big levels and some cool level design. Really enjoying just doing free play now. Galactic free play, just going around planets. The space travel is fun. The lightsaber battle is fun. The combat is great. Voice acting is great. Really like that Han Solo, you guys. That's an excellent Han Solo voice actor. Yeah, that's all my week.
So my weeks, I should say, as you guys said last week very gracefully, I was gone due to mental health reasons. A lot of shit went down last week, and I just needed a break, so I just unplugged and de-stressed. And by de-stressing,
you hit pause and just chilled.
Half of that's true. Half of that is true because, Lordy, I played a lot of Elden Ring. I think I played some Elden Ring with Ryan. I know I played some Elden Ring with Grayson. And yeah, still fantastic game. Absolutely love it. The big thing that happened this week was that it was mine and Fanny's 8-year anniversary.
Woo!
So to celebrate, we went to Disneyland. And this was my first time going back to Disneyland since the pandemic happened. And I mean Disneyland proper, not California Adventure, because we went to DCA last year. And I missed it. I had fun. I had a blast. But bloody hell do I miss Fast Passes. I miss those so much. So I didn't buy the Genie Plus. I didn't do any of that. And also it became a pretty busy day. We got inside the park, I want to say around 8:45-ish. I mean, there were some long lines to be expected even early in the morning, a lot of the early risers, but the second 11 o'clock hit, all the lines just skyrocketed. I'm talking, it was like over 200 minutes for Space Mountain at one point. And this is according to the app, so it may be exaggerating a little bit, but I mean, Rise was circling the 190-minute range pretty much the whole day it was up.
Man,
that's not weird. That's not weird for
yeah.
Rise, though.
Yeah, even Smuggler's Run reached over 120 minutes at one point in time.
That is weird.
Yeah, we actually were able to get on it right after dinner time, and that was only that was like only, it said 45 minutes, but it was actually only 30. So,
Do you think they'll ever update Smuggler's Run to do like a different track or something?
Yeah, in the future.
Eventually,
Yeah.
sure. I could see it.
Yeah. Eventually,
Just
sure.
give it more variety.
It would be a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was the first trip to Disneyland I did in a long time where I didn't go on any of the big mountains, like Space Mountain, Matterhorn, Big Thunder. We didn't hit any of those. Pretty much the big rides we went on were we were able to finally get on Haunted Mansion at the end of the night when the parade and the fireworks were going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we still had a fun time. We still were able to hit up rides and do things that we wanted to do, but still, it was one of those days where I'm like, I really miss fast passes. I mean, I know the Lightning Lane is there, but at the same time, it still feels like just a Disney trying to. If you can afford it, you can do all the big stuff. But if you can, you either have to wait or you just can't do it. Sorry,
It's a bad system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the fast pass system was perfect either. I mean, there were flaws with the fast passes, of
It
course.
was
but
much
better.
no, it was, because then it's like, cool, I can go to Space Mountain and then go on. I can get a fast pass to Space Mountain in like 3 hours.
The
And then go
problem
and do fun stuff and then just worry about hitting up other rides and then coming back and not have to worry about a 3 or 4 hour wait.
The problem with the Genie Pass system is that because guests pay for it, there's a pressure to accommodate them as quickly as possible. But the reservation system can back up so quickly that at a certain point, you're just holding your standby line for sometimes 10, 15 minutes at a time. And that's not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I was listening before I left, I was also listening to the Disney food blog. I mean, this is mostly for, they normally only tackle Disney World cases, but they do kind of merge over with Disneyland every once in a while. And with Genie Plus, one of the reasons why I didn't buy it, because it's $15 per person, and it does not guarantee you any Lightning Lane. So if you were at Disneyland and you decide to say, you know what, nah, I'm going to shell out the money for a Lightning Lane for the Disney Plus and Lightning Lane reservations, they're gone. You have to reserve these tickets. I mean, this is over Walt Disney World. I'm not 100% sure what happens here in California. You have to reserve your Lightning Lanes, and it's only one Lightning Lane at 7:00 in the morning, an hour before the park opens.
Mm-hmm.
No.
The only time I was able to go up and wake up at 7 in the morning before driving to the park was to try and get in for Web Slingers for the virtual queue. Once again, virtual queue, also not the perfect system, but it worked because you got 2 chances for it. One in the morning before you showed up and one in the afternoon when you were already there. So it gave you a chance. So I have to say, I didn't shell out for the money. I mean, it was also a busy day.
You know what, Ben? Ben?
What?
Nor should you have.
Yeah, and I didn't. But I had a feeling I was just there to enjoy the park. I enjoyed the park. I missed it. And by God, my feet hurt afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's I missed it. I missed Disneyland. I miss Disneyland a lot.
I miss it too.
What else you got, buddy?
Besides that, actually, right before I saw Obi-Wan, I saw Miss Marvel. We're going to talk about those later. And what else did I do? Oh yeah, I saw this really cute little YouTube semi-animated show. When I say semi-animated, I mean it's animated, but it's not like fluid animation. It's kind of like stop motion in a way, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like when there's a character on screen, you can tell which character is talking, and it's a completely fan-made show called Nintendo High. It's essentially recreating Nintendo characters, all Nintendo characters, but of course the focal point is Mario and Luigi, and it's them going to high school with other Nintendo characters.
That's a good one.
And I really like it. You see Mario and Luigi going out of high school. You see it when Mario meets Peach for the first time. Bowser, of course, is the rich kid / school bully that not a lot of people like. And there's a bunch of other characters sprinkled throughout. And it's like, hey, there's Samus, there's Ike, there's Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon had this really funny instance where he pulls up a list of all the girls who said no when he was trying to ask him out to Homecoming. So that was something I really enjoyed. If you're a big Nintendo fan, you like some of those funny, lighthearted high school-esque shows, I definitely recommend it. The first season's up on YouTube right now.
That's cool.
And the other big thing, well, not big thing, because I only played it for about 25 minutes before dinner was ready, was also Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Oh my gosh, that game. I only played 3 levels of it with Fanny, and it rules.
What system?
PS5.
Nice.
It's got combos, baby. That's just, it feels like a fighting game, like in a brawler. There's so many combos. It's crazy.
It's got combos. It's got a lot of replayability to go and find secrets that you couldn't find in other levels. The pixel art is just phenomenal. I am probably going to double dip on this one. I bought it for the PS5. Limited Run has the physical versions available for pre-order right now, and I'm probably going to pick one up for Switch. because I want to play this
Hell
on the
yeah.
go. I want to play this on the go. It just looks absolutely stunning. And I was talking about with Grayson, and Grayson's like, "Do the other Fic nerds have it?" And I'm like, "Well, they have it on Game Pass, that's for sure."
I am gonna have to buy it on PlayStation.
And
Y'all
also,
can't get on the Game Pass train.
And also one other thing, I also decided to try out for the year because I have 168 days left on my PlayStation subscription. It was only an extra $30. For me, it was a $30 upcharge, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Is I upgraded my PS Plus subscription to like the premium tier where I gain access to all the classic PlayStation games.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try that, and if I don't like it, I'm going back to the regular one, to the regular one, because I have heard things about the emulation being the emulation, especially with PS1 games, for the PAL regions, which that was a big problem for the PlayStation Mini, because our TVs here in North America run at a different megahertz than the ones over in Europe. So I'm going to see if this emulation is any good. I'm going to see if whatever games they add are even worth it, because I assume they're going to be adding more games further down the line. The games they have on the service as of now, they're pretty solid titles. There's Star Wars Jedi Starfighter and Bounty Hunter are two of them. So I'm like, all right, cool. We can play Starfighter.
Yeah.
I like Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, but besides that, some of the PS1 games are kind of like, I mean, I'm glad Ape Escape is there, but still, it's like not a really solid thing of titles, but we'll see.
Ben,
So,
if you want something solid, you got to play Metal Gear Solid.
Ben, if you want something solid, you got to get an Xbox and get Game Pass, because that's where it's really at.
Honestly, Ben, like real quick, I watched a bunch of videos. Like I follow so many video game people. It's not great. The emulation is not great. Specifically, kind of funny. They had a 3-hour stream where one of the hosts almost had a breakdown with how pissed he was getting trying to make the shit work. I hope you have the best internet possible. Even still, get Game Pass.
Now, Ben, what I'm hearing is that you spent all 2 weeks not watching RRR. Fix that.
Says the guy who saw it 2 days ago.
Come on.
I had other stuff going on, so
I
couldn't.
was kidding.
It's
I'm
also
sorry.
extra long.
Yeah.
You know what's
Shouldn't
funny?
have said anything.
They have an intermission, but the intermission is 4 seconds long. I was like, it cuts to black, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go take a pee, and then I had to sit back down. I'm like,
that's
no.
that's so funny you brought that up, because that was exactly where, when we were watching it, Michael was like, well, if there's any intermission, that was it. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
I was like,
you could probably pause it.
no, I did, but like I expected it to be like an actual intermission because it cuts to black, and I'm like, because it's a long movie.
And Lawrence of Arabia, I was surprised when I was watching my copy of it, and all of a sudden a 15-minute intermission started. And I'm like, all right.
That was a standard back then.
Cool.
I love it. It's like a play.
I remember when I was in film class. This was years ago back at CISA, and I was watching Dr. Giro.
Oh, the Island of Dr. Giro. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not the. Oh no, was it? It's the. Alec Guinness is in the movie where he plays a Soviet guy and he's telling the story about this doctor. Am I thinking of the name right?
Dr. Zhivago?
Dr. Zhivago. That one.
Dr. Giro is half people, half animals. Scientific monster movie.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
Not that one, Dr. Zhivago. I remember that one. Yeah. And the sigh of relief when we got to the intermission, because apparently like a bunch of kids in the because it was a 3-hour long class, a bunch of kids in our auditorium were like, they're like, all right, cool. Well, we need to go to the bathroom. Half the class is up and runs.
Yeah, man.
I just, because you brought up Lawrence of Arabia, I just got literally yesterday my 4K 60th anniversary edition of Lawrence of Arabia. That the fidelity on that film is so high and that film's so long that it's one Blu-ray disc, but it's 2 4K discs for the feature.
Oh, that's a lot of data. Ooh.
That's a lot of pretty, is what that is.
You can see every speck of sand on.
I can't wait to watch that.
Actually, that sounds like because my Lord of the Rings Blu-ray.
When you weren't dictating Dr. Giro, I went through every Doctor movie: Doctor Strangelove, Doctor Who, Dr. Zhivago,
Doctor No. Yes, Sparks, my Lord of the Rings Blu-ray extended cut. They also have 2 separate discs, like the DVD ones. They're like, ooh, pretty.
Oh, sure.
I guess
I know, but I have that too.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing is I got a new cell phone, so yay.
I think my point was more because the 4K discs can hold more data than the Blu-rays. So the fidelity of the image is so high, they had to split the film. They decided that it was better to split the film, and I'm sure that it wasn't like, oh, I'm sure it's split at the intermission, and I'm sure it wasn't that, oh, we couldn't fit like a portion more of the movie on the first disc. It's just that they knew they couldn't put the whole film on there and keep it at the high quality. So they're like, let's just cut it in half. Just cut in half and have it at the full image quality. That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Shall we do our bread and butter then? If Ben have done nothing else?
Nah, the only other thing I played was just a bunch of card games with some friends. So
Cool.
that's about it.
All right, then. Let's do it.
That little guy's so cute. I love that little guy. I don't appreciate him. We don't appreciate that little guy enough.
we don't appreciate that butter murderer.
Haha, who's gonna eat me? I don't know.
All right.
God, catch me first.
Definitely the opposite of the Wiener Schnitzel dog, that's for sure.
See, the way I see it, the way I interpreted that little guy is that he stabbed a guy made out of butter to death, and that's why he's running away with the butter knife, smelling like blood.
See, I'm under the impression that like this is a sex thing, and he's buttering himself up and like, who's
Right, because
ready?
because he's got it on him. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm all slathered up. Who's gonna get me?
The alien stance.
We have definitely different mindsets because I know.
I love how tame your mind is, Ben.
Yeah, Ben, you're a sweet, naive child. I love it.
Ben's like, I just thought that was a friendly piece of bread that just wanted to let me know that it had some butter.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're too
Oh,
twisted.
oh my goodness. You're right. Here's your bread and butter. Here comes mommy.
Like,
Happy Father's Day.
All right. Man. No, Grayson, he does not have a name.
We'll think of a name. We can't do it on the spot. It won't be good. We'll think of a name for him.
Isn't it B&B?
Oh, is it? Bumby?
Bread and butter?
Bread and
B&B?
butter? Burb. Call him Burb.
I don't think we ever named the dude.
Bread
All right.
and butter. Call him Babs.
Babs.
It could be a girl. Sure. Babs.
No, it's
Why
a guy named Babs.
not? Sure. Why not?
Let him live his truth.
It's
I
true.
mean, my Dungeons and Dragons character is named Mary, so
It's 'cause the
Mine's
Mary's
Hector
cute.
the Well Endowed, actually.
Oh my.
yeah, good for you.
Roll on initiative.
Mar. These are all community jokes. I'm so sorry because we have to talk about some sad news.
It's true.
Philip Baker Hall has passed away at the age of 90. He was an incredible actor who I loved. I always think about his role in Fired Up.
Ben, it's this gentleman.
Oh,
He is
Yeah.
like one of the most like character actor guys. Shows up in so much shit that you. Yeah, absolutely.
he's
What a
he's the coach who said it's
Yeah.
like, how many shits do you think? And the other,
Yeah.
and then, oh, I
Yeah.
remember that guy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's sad.
Fired Up is a very underappreciated movie. Check it out.
Nope, it is. I agree.
Tell the audience.
I could tell you his entire filmography, but literally he's been acting for so long. He's been in literally like hundreds of things. Like
90 years old. That's
so,
pretty good.
Yeah, prolific actor. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Long life though. Yeah.
I love every time he shows up. He's either very funny
Clearly-
or very sincere.
Clearly a good, successsul career, too.
Oh yeah.
At least someone's got a memorable version of this guy in their mind.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then finally, Tim Sale, artist extraordinaire, passed away at the age of 66.
Now, this one I did not know until just now, and I am upset.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
didn't know. I had no clue.
Yeah.
He was hospitalized earlier this week, and I was like, "Oh no, don't do this."
Yeah. Like obviously one of the most influential comic artists of our time. Like,
Yeah.
Long Halloween. Like that's the dude who made me fall in love with Catwoman. Like his design of Catwoman. Again, I watched the Long Halloween, the animated movies, couple weeks ago. But like it's based off his designs and stuff. And I'm like, he had such a unique style. He draws maybe my favorite Superman, the big Superman.
Mhm.
Like, I'm sure
Superman,
Sparkster-
Superman for All Seasons, my favorite Superman comic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys know my favorite Batman books, Long Halloween.
Mhm.
It's mostly because of his art. Don't get me wrong, I love the story. Jeff Loeb did a great story, but my God, just the fact of just how colorful but how dark that book is.
Mhm.
Like, I always love it when there's a panel and there's like just a little bit of color with Batman's ears, but it's just mostly his eyes, the white of his eyes of his mask. And yeah, his Superman for All Seasons is absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful definitely the complete opposite of Long Halloween, and I'm upset now because
always-
I remember seeing him at Comic-Con one year. He had no one in line, and I wanted to talk to him, but I was rushing, and I could have said hi. And I'm mad at myself now. I can't do that.
Hindsight.
This is pretty sudden. He still had work ahead of him. He's an incredible artist. I always think about his use of color. His Marvel color series with Jeff Loeb, Daredevil Yellow, Hulk Gray, gorgeous,
Spider-Man.
gorgeous Spider. Oh, I haven't read Spider-Man Blue.
Okay.
Excellent work
And
there. I love it.
Captain America White, is that the other one?
Yeah, Captain
That's
America.
the
Yeah.
last one. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
I did also haven't read that one either.
I thought we did that for a book, or was this before we started all had to read it?
We definitely did it for a book club.
I know we did
we-
Captain America. I know we did Captain America White and Spider-Man Blue. I know we
No,
did. We did all of
Daredevil.
them.
We did Daredevil Yellow and Hulk Gray. We have not done Spider-Man Blue.
Could have swore we did them. I could be wrong. This could
We
have been
definitely. I bought Hulk Gray for Ben for a gift. We never read
We
the
all,
comic.
we all put Ben on Hulk Gray.
Yeah,
But
I know you know.
we definitely did that as a book club, and we
Yeah.
also did Daredevil Yellow as a book club. I don't remember
Well-
Captain America White. I'm certain we didn't do Spider-Man Blue.
Well, I know what my next book club is.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, excellent work. Still had work ahead of him. Sucks.
Yeah, definitely one like a legend.
All right. Some casting news.
Ooh.
Spider-Man Across the Universe. Nope, Across the Spider-Verse.
The
That's a different
Beatles. The Beatles and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse has cast Jason Schwartzman as the Spot.
You know what? There's a funny joke there because Across the Universe was directed by the person who directed Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. for
Julie
Broadway.
Taymor.
Oh,
It's
Seriously?
right there. It's right there. Yeah, 100%.
we did it, guys. Jason Schwartzman has been cast as the Spot, a Spider-Man villain. Ryan, would you explain his spots?
Also a Daredevil villain, but it's also he's a New York villain. But the Spot, he is a character who you can write him as silly or as menacing as you want. He creates portals. He'll create a portal and he'll punch through the portal and he'll punch you in the face. He's like Blink from the X-Men, except he looks like a big spot man. The Daredevil series from Mark Waid turned him into a truly sinister assassin, whereas he's kind of mostly been a jokey guy. He's probably going to be a mix of both. Because if taken seriously, he can be like a super villain, major threat with how he handles portal stuff. He's such an obscure, fun character that he's perfect for this movie, and they can do whatever they want with him. I'm so stoked.
The shot that they showed us has Miles's fist going through his face and then coming out of another part of his body.
Yeah,
Awesome.
love it.
That was really cool.
Shay Wingham. Wiggum has been cast as George Stacy. If you don't really remember this gentleman, I'm sure of all the things he's done, I can't remember the most recent thing. He's everywhere.
What's his name again? Sorry.
Shay Wiggum. Shea.
Gotcha.
Wiggum. I remember
he's
him-
the guy who gets killed in the King Kong movie with the grenade.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, this guy was also in Agent Carter for the first season.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, he's been cast as George Stacy, so he's
Oh, nice.
Gwen
Yeah.
Stacy's dad.
That's a perfect dad role, sure.
Jorma Tacone has been cast as the Vulture.
One of the guys from The Lonely Island, and he directed a bunch of their movies. Hell yeah, that guy's great. Love it.
So this shaping up to be another awesome movie.
And that's the one coming out next year, not the sequel.
Yeah, that's the one coming out next year.
Cool, beautiful.
Doctor Who knows. Oh, go ahead, Sparks.
Can I make an anecdote of casting edition right here, real quick?
Yeah.
It popped in my brain when we were talking earlier in the episode, and I was like, oh, I should have made sure that was on the news. Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, she's now part of the Quantum Encounter for the Disney Cruise cinematic event, which means she's going to be
Oh.
appearing in that cinematic dining experience thing that's going to be with Anthony Mackie, Brie Larson, Evangeline Lilly, and Paul Rudd.
Oh, that's
Isn't
cool.
Ultron also there?
Um,
Isn't that the one where Ultron comes back?
No, because Ultron was in the Void thing, the VR
that's
thing
right.
that we don't know what else
That's
is
right.
happening in this one.
Okay.
I wanted to only talk about because hey, this is great, good for her. This is very exciting. Congrats to her, absolutely. This is the thing where the Disney the Disneyism of MCU bums me out a bit because I'm like, right now this is the closest we have to a superhero team up for the MCU announced, and you could only experience it at a dining thing on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And that bums me out, man, because these are all stars I want to see play these characters together, obviously, and the fact that you can only get that experience on a cruise ship, it's just sad to me.
Yeah. I'll wait
It
for
sucks that specifically the next thing is the cruise ship. We don't have any confirmation of anything coming later.
I'll wait for a camcorder version.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah, there'll be. I'm sure at some point, hopefully, there will be some like HD access, something available, because you got to imagine it's going to be fun with all those actors getting together for it.
Yeah.
Just like very cool. Like that all sounds awesome. I just wish it was more accessible.
Yeah, me too. You guys remember when Andrew Garfield was in a Doctor Who episode?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
He played a British boy.
No.
He was an American kid in New York, actually.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, the Daleks take Manhattan.
That's what it is. Yeah. It was definitely during like olden times, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Neil Patrick Harris has been cast as the villain in Doctor Who.
Sweet.
So the 60th anniversary will have Neil Patrick Harris, who apparently worked with Russell T Davies on his last show, Sins. And so he's bringing him over for this.
Perfect
Cool.
guy to join that universe.
I really like Neil Patrick Harris as a villain. His Count Olaf is awesome. So I'm excited to see more of that.
Wait,
Yeah.
Count Olaf.
Series of unfortunate events.
Oh, yep. I remember now. Yep, I
I
remember.
watched the first episode of that. Yeah.
He was Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Jim Carrey was a film. He was a Netflix series. Got it.
Joker. Last week we got a title. This week we may know a bit more.
Oh yeah, I heard. I did listen to the episode last weekend about the Joker news. And I'm like, Well,
what's interesting is there was two potential theories of what that title could mean: either Harley Quinn or or another Joker. And people were saying, "Oh, William Dafoe should be that." Now we know it is Harley Quinn. Played now she is just in early talks, and there was make sure to stress this: Lady Gaga.
Y'all, this is incredible for so many reasons.
And it's wait, let me say the last thing before you do. And it's a musical.
Yes. So this rules because anybody who is a major fan of the first Joker will not be into this movie.
nope. When I first heard that rumor, that I heard about the Lady Gaga being in early talks for Joker, and my brain went, actually, she can probably kill as Harley Quinn. I don't know. Don't be wrong. I love Margot Robbie.
How will she perform?
That's pretty good.
No, I think she'll play an excellent Harley Quinn. No disrespect to Margot Robbie. She's also an excellent Harley Quinn. But I feel like in Todd Phillips' version of the Joker, Lady Gaga fits. And Lady Gaga's got some acting chops. She's a very good actress. The fact that they're now turning this into a musical, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm interested now. I want to know what's going on.
We talked about it last week's like Sparks, and like there's two directions this movie could go. It would lean into the mental health stuff, which is not a good idea, or it just goes away from that and just tries to be more of a Joker movie. Thank God they're going even beyond that. This movie could obviously still be like a piece of shit, but like the quality level of like Joker is like it's like a well-made movie. Like it's not, it might not be the greatest movie, but it's a well-made movie. It wasn't shilled out, right? They put thought behind it. This makes me really excited because, like, in a world where I'm going to watch a Joker musical with Lady Gaga, like, I personally would love to see that, especially with Joaquin Phoenix.
Lady Gaga does the music or else.
I mean, she's probably going to be involved. I mean, she made a song for Top Gun. Like, she's not even in that movie. So, like, I'm sure she's going to be involved.
Yeah, it's good that the implication seems to be that they're not going to try to tackle Joker as a mental health figure. What we talked about last week, it's not a good idea. And it's not handled well in that movie.
No.
So it's the implication of it being a lot more kookier, I guess is the word. Like a lot more going into the Agents of Chaos. Like this is unexpected. Nobody expected the sequel to a Scorsese drama film to be a musical.
Yeah.
So I think this is the most interested I've been in the Joker movie.
Also, to throw my 2 cents in on the Todd Phillips about Warner Bros. Wanting Todd Phillips to maybe be the new head of the DCEU. Throw my 2 cents in there real quick because I know you guys talked about that for a hot second last week. No.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty much against that.
I'm sure even he's against that.
Give it to James Gunn or else.
James Gunn, not James Gunn
we want you to be our guy. And he's like, no.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
James Gunn doesn't even want it.
Okay.
Ben, to what you said,
Okay.
Ben.
You
He's
don't
spoken
need
on
to
it
copy
before.
a Feige. Just
Yep.
make good movies. That's all you gotta do. Just try to make a good movie one at a time. That's all you
Did
gotta do.
you also hear the rumor that the new guy at Warner Brothers is coming from Discovery, the guy who's saying all this, who's like, we want a Feige. Feige? And he's looking to take Feige from Marvel?
That'll definitely happen.
I'm like, dude, barking
I'm
up the
pretty
wrong tree.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Feige's like, no.
Feige is basically the president of Marvel at this point, with all the titles he has now.
He's
Oh.
yeah, he runs the comic stuff too. Like he's the head of all like media. Yeah, he wouldn't take it anyway. Like
No. You want me to leave this?
Yeah.
For this?
No, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, cool. Hopefully this movie is good. Oh,
That's all I can hope for.
Joaquin Phoenix does not have a deal to return yet, so this film is still not like greenlit. But I've wanted him to do a musical since Walk Hard. No, Walk Tall.
No, walk hard. Walk the line.
Walk the line.
No, it's just say Walk Hard. You're right.
Walk the line where you play Johnny Cash.
Ryan and I
gonna
just
walk.
like, yeah, walk hard, yeah.
I was gonna say
gotta
walk
walk
hard. I was like, yeah, it is walk hard. I was like, nope, that's Dewey Cox. That's John C. Reilly.
Walk the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think he's good as Johnny Cash in that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh yeah, quick little anecdote. Another thing I did. Fan and I rewatched Anchorman, and that's a funny ass movie. I loved it.
I also love Anchorman. That's a good movie.
How'd you get a harpoon?
Brick killed a guy.
Brick killed a guy. I say that line a lot. Brick killed a guy.
That escalated quickly.
The past week, Fan and I were like, I love Lamp.
I love it.
You're right. That escalated quickly came from Anchorman. All right, guys. There's a Lord of the Rings thing happening. It's not that one though. We actually knew about this anime for a little bit. There's a feature length anime for Lord of the Rings called The Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. If you recall from Lord of the Rings, those are Carl Urban.
All Carl Urban.
They're all Carl Urbans.
It's all Carl
Just
Urban,
a
no one
whole
else.
whole series of men on horses going, "Oi!"
Yeah.
Oi! All right, Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim will be set 200 years before the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It's going to star Brian Cox. And this is the lead, by the way. The story is about this character. Brian Cox has been cast as the King of Rohan and at the time Helm Hammerhand.
Love
Good
it.
name.
I love that Lord of the Rings is coming anime. Big fan. Huge fan of Brian Cox, especially after Succession. He's like one of the best working actors right now. And it's cool that he's gonna like lend his voice to some animation stuff. I'm looking forward to it. Sure.
Always into more Lord of the Rings. And the other thing, the thing that confirms it's set in the film timeline, Miranda Otto will reprise her role as Éowyn.
Probably
Lord of the Rings.
telling a flashback story or something.
I think so. I think
reading a
she's
book.
like, let's talk about your great grandfather.
From the journals of Phil Hammerhand.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I really like Éowyn in that movie.
I'm glad she's coming back.
Yeah, that is cool. It is tied to this Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Sparks.
I am no man.
I
Stab.
have nothing to add.
Okay. All right. Oh, we got a stupid thing. I wish I had like a buzzer. Stupid thing.
Yo, man, future productions, I can have that ready for you.
Well, Squid Game is. By the way, this already is a thing in Korea. There is a Squid Game reality show. But we're getting one now. Netflix is getting a competition show called Squid Game: The Challenge. You ever seen Hot Lava? That, but Squid Game.
Or if you just watch the show Squid Game, it's that show.
Yeah. Except I assume people don't die in this.
Hopefully with less murder.
You'd assume.
Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be? That's something I'd watch if Netflix was just like, "Yep, no, that's awful."
Secret stuff. No. There's somebody online posted like, oh, so that's why Netflix fired all of us. So they could spend $5 million to give away to some random person on a reality show. Cool. Obviously, this is a bad idea. It's literally missing what the entire point of that show is. And that show is incredible, but it's straight up just going like, what if we did the thing they did? I'm like, wow, cool. Like, not only are you missing the point of the show, you're just doing this for money, which again, I'm not opposed to making things out of other things, but like, you're just doing the thing you did. And other people have already done that. Mr. Beast on YouTube he recreated all of it like perfectly. There's a YouTube video that has like one of the highest rated YouTube videos of all time, like hundreds of millions of views. He recreated all of Squid Game in like a warehouse. So this has already been done and probably better than Netflix probably gonna do. So I just can't care.
Something about the way you said it felt like Tony Stark built this in a cave.
Mr. Beast beat this in a warehouse.
Ryan
The box of scraps.
Ryan just suddenly turns into Obadiah Stane.
I could go.
Tony.
Ironmonger's Tony.
We're ironmongers, Tony.
Classic.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, this is a bad idea. This is a very bad idea. I'm excited for the second season of Squid Game because I know that show got super popular. I'm glad they're continuing, which it makes me even more. I need to watch that first season. So
I figured you watched it already.
Nope, haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
I osmosis.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the end, so I don't know how it ends. But I do know what the Squid Game is about.
Here, come to the. I'll whisper it to you. No, don't.
Okay.
Don't actually do that.
But yeah, this making an actual like this is the Squid Game. It's like, yo, you're missing the point, my dude.
I mean,
And it'll still be probably one of Netflix's highest rated things.
when you have the money that Netflix don't have, you just gotta spend it.
You know, I was just about to ask, what money does Netflix have to give to whoever wins this supposed Squid Game? What money do they have? They're how much money in debt?
All the
all
money
laundered.
they saved from hiring those dumb people.
Yeah. It's
Sure.
all a scheme. It's all money laundering.
Let's fire half our animation department because our animation stuff is good, and let's make a shitty reality game show.
How
Oh
much
my
more?
God,
How much more money do we need for the game show? All right, we'll fire you. We'll fire you. We'll fire you.
And honestly,
What are we doing? How are we doing now?
Realistically, like this is considerably cheap to make, and it'll make them. It'll get hundreds of millions of views because people love Squid Game. Like they're not as cynical as we are. And I think they should be, but that they're not. That's the thing, they're not. So it's
All right.
it is what it is.
All right. No, we're not going to stop it, unfortunately. Let's do it. Let's stop it. Let's get in there and wipe it out.
I got bad news. It's already been filmed.
We can wipe out the masters.
Oh my God, you're right. Let's go to the
Or we get hired at Netflix, rise through the ranks, become the executives, and no.
Bro, I'm not gonna pull a Reva. That shit does not work out.
I hope
We'll pull a Taika Waititi and let's go ahead.
if they really want to do it, I hope that they bring in like actual like rich tycoons from the investment world, but like with their animal ladies and everything.
They don't know what you're
Their
talking
big
about.
animal mess.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you do.
No,
you
I
know
do.
what I'm talking about, and I hope they do that.
That'd be wild if they brought real celebrities to be like
Yeah!
big sex
Yeah!
perverts. Jim
All right.
Carrey.
What?
Don't
Yeah,
worry about
you
it.
haven't
didn't
watched
watch
the
the show.
One Punch Man. Justin Lin will direct the live action adaptation for Sony.
Fast and Furious could suck it. This is great. One Punch Man is I think it's a pretty easily adaptable show. While it is big and super heroic, like it's not it's you could do it. It's not too crazy. I mean, obviously, like buildings get destroyed, but you know what I mean. I think this is great. He's a perfect choice. Like he's such a good action director. And he has the character work down for this specific type of show, I think, where like characters are really elevated and are really like extreme, and then one character is just like, yeah, that's cool, I guess. I think it's a great choice.
Why does Simu Liu come to my brain to play One Punch Man?
I mean, he's not the worst choice.
Like, shave his head. He could probably be a good Saitama.
Yeah, but you've watched the show, Ben?
No, I just know his name. Once again, osmosis.
Here,
Ben, then you don't know because he's not like no.
you're doing a lot of things today, Ben.
He's seemingly fine. I'd want someone who's I don't know, funnier. I don't know.
I think it's a hard role to cast, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Justin Lin is a great director, and I'm excited for more.
Honestly, realistically, you know who it could be? It could be Han.
All right, yeah.
I think he could. He has like the I don't care kind of mentality. I think Han would actually. That actor's name I forget.
Sonic Kim?
Yeah. I think it's him. Yeah, I think he could work. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Hey, anytime I can see he is in every Justin Lin movie.
It's a good point.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Studios wouldn't let him because he'd be the lead.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, I'm just saying, like they
Oh,
wouldn't
do you
consider him
think-
marketable enough.
Do you think?
Is this person white?
Yeah. Do you think they'll make this all American? Well, I mean, I bet
wouldn't-
you they will. But like,
I
do you
wouldn't
think
rule it out. I wouldn't rule it out.
that's a bummer? I would at least think the main lead can be diverse.
I talked about this with I actually think like Saitama's slightly easier, I think, in some ways too. I think that it can be whitewashed in a sense. I don't necessarily want it. If Michael and I did some fun speculating because we were like, if this goes in like the studio, general studio direction that things like this tend to do, like who would be casting it? And I was like, I can't let go of Joseph Gordon-Levitt personally.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, sure.
If it was whitewashed, I couldn't. He came to my mind and then I couldn't let go of him.
No,
I think he could play that quite correctly. I think Song Kim would be great. I don't think they'd let him just because he's not a household name.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you want One Punch Man to be really successful because the budget's going to have to be pretty big.
It's true.
I think Justin Lin's a great director for it. I have yet to have seen a great live action anime adaptation. So I've seen good and I've seen mostly bad. So we'll see.
It's true.
Yeah, people would like to talk about like Alita was a great anime adaptation. I was like, this is a good one.
I really like it, but yeah, I wouldn't call it like incredible.
Yeah, I think if anyone's got a chance of succeeding, I guess Robert Rodriguez would have been that person. But I think Justin Lin's a good chance.
Yeah, I think
I think shonen is still very hard to figure out how to translate shonen to the live action film like format.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% sure if One Punch Man is it's slightly more challenging in a way because it's harder to make a narrative arc for your main character that could be contained to a live action film. Ryan kind of understands what I mean from watching the show.
I do agree. I do think
I don't think it's impossible. It's a steeper hill than you usually have.
Because you have to limit where the arc is, and it's a long arc. Like I'm still like only 8 to 10 episodes in, and it's still like he's not where he's supposed to be yet. Like I see what's happening. Yeah. It's an interesting way. I do think actually, in a similar way, it would be challenging. I think it actually, because of how dominating the superhero genre is, I actually think this is an easy way for this one to be successful because it's about superheroes.
I think the smart way to do it. I haven't watched it for a while, so the character's name isn't coming to mind. But the guy who wants to learn from him, who makes him his master,
Cyborg.
Yeah,
so cool.
You make him he's the character who has the arc for the movie. I think that's the way you do it because it's too hard to do Saitama's in a single film because the whole point of Saitama's character is that like the entire story of One Punch Man is his arc. So it's not as easily caught up as a lot of our other shonen heroes like Dragon Ball Z or My Hero Academia, where each arc or season the character has a shift, has a change. Saitama's not really changing that much arc to arc, but the characters around him are being changed by his presence.
That's actually a really brilliant idea. You make Cyborg your main character, and then Saitama is like the hero, like not sidekick, but like he's like the legend that comes around. There's a One Punch Man video game, and you know how that game works? Saitama, you can't play as Saitama because he's too powerful. You have to play as all the other characters, and you have to survive long enough for Saitama to get to the battle. There's a little mini cam in the screen of Saitama just running to the spot, and you're just like, survive, don't die. Incredible. That's a really good point, Sparks. And Cyborg is such a interesting, cool character, right? He is the one learning. That might actually be it.
That's kind of got to be the way because like it is truly the characters around Saitama are the ones who are going through like changes incrementally through the arcs, not Saitama himself.
True.
Question: what if he trained to be able to punch to knock someone out with one punch, right?
Yeah, he did push-ups and sit-ups and drink lots of juice,
and he ran a lot.
Yeah,
and now he can KO in one punch.
Yes.
What if someone else did that? What would happen? Oh, is that the show? Okay.
Here's
sorry.
the thing. Like, I'm not gonna like. I haven't finished it, so I don't know. But like, very early on, everyone's like, "What's your secret? How did you do this?" And he's like, "My legendary secret is 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 10 miles a day, drink water." And everyone's like, "What? That's it?" And he's like, nobody believes him. Nobody believes him. Because is it that easy?
What? I just want to. I want to see, like, would they knock each other out? Would it cancel it out? There's questions I have.
Would it create a black
It sounds
hole?
to me. It sounds to me like you want to watch and/or read One Punch Man.
I'll watch Premiere first.
You did that.
You've seen that.
Again. I'll do it again. All right. That's enough of that.
Hell yeah. I love One Punch Man. I'm so glad we got to talk about that. It's cool.
You know what else you love?
No, what?
Heroes that go from zero to hero.
You actually are 100% right.
Hercules, the Russo brothers Hercules live action remake.
Honey, you mean Huncules.
Yeah.
Cute.
So I saw a pin at Disneyland. I was like,
Yeah. Guy Ritchie, Aladdin, is directing this one.
We all like Aladdin here. Right?
I like Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, I also like Guy Ritchie.
If Jafar had been cast differently, it could have been a great movie.
Yeah. If he's gonna make a Hercules in the vein of his stuff that he did with Aladdin, I don't want it because I care more about Hercules than I do about Aladdin, and I'm so close to Hercules, not just as a young man who loved it, but as a Greek boy who I can't get enough of like super good Greek shit. I don't want an okay Hercules movie. I don't want a good Hercules movie. I want a great Hercules movie. So it's okay. It could be greater, but like I don't know.
I think Guy Ritchie, if you go for the right tone, like if you like, I think a Guy Ritchie Greek mythology movie could be pretty cool.
Sure.
It's just with Hercules.
Oh, he made King Arthur. It's kind of like a mythology.
yeah, he did. That is a movie that exists, all right.
I'm speaking like visually. Like someone else is gonna write this script.
Yeah.
I think visually you could do something pretty cool with Guy Ritchie. And I hope they let him. And I feel like the Russos have enough sway that we could probably finally get like a standout one of these movies. Because up until now, I mean, come on.
I'll be honest, Brandon, I don't agree because the Russo brothers have a movie coming out that looks grayer than anything, and it's called The Gray Man.
Did we all forget Cruella? Did like everyone forget that
did.
Cruella happened?
No, Guy Ritchie didn't direct it.
Awesome. No, I'm talking about like that. Brandon's referring to a great standout Disney live action thing, and I'm like, Cruella happened.
I specifically didn't count Cruella because it is not directly remaking a film that already exists.
Sure.
Like I was referring to like, I mean, I like Cinderella. I always forget about Cinderella. Actually, I really like Cinderella. All right, but I'm talking like Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, all good movies.
Yep.
Not Lion King. But like, I don't want another one of those. Mm-hmm. I want Guy Ritchie to like do something.
I'll be honest, I don't think Guy Ritchie's the guy for this.
Like real quickly on the Gray Man though, because I want to get into that. Real quickly on the Gray Man though, that's a film that the Russo brothers are directing, not producing. So like I can see them letting Guy Ritchie do his thing, and I would like to see that. Sure. You never know. There's a lot going against it. Sparks, you were saying though.
Oh, I just don't think Guy Ritchie's the guy for this.
Why?
There's nothing about the Disney Hercules that makes me think Guy Ritchie's the one who should direct this. Yeah. I think Aladdin was a fine, I think his direction of Aladdin is good, but I wouldn't say he was the ideal choice for that either. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's the ideal choice for this. I get where this comes from because Aladdin and Hercules are spiritually very similar. Mm-hmm. In the Disney canon, but I think they should have just gone with somebody else.
I just don't think you need one person directing all of your movies. That's really what it is. I don't want Guy Ritchie directing multiple Disney movies, and it's like his style is on all of them. I want them to be unique and different.
Sure, this is only a second. Like I don't think it would be. I do think this is coming from a place of like Aladdin is similar and in that same vein. I just think like. Nobody is particularly coming to my brain right now, but Guy Ritchie's not the guy I would look at like Disney Hercules as it is and go, Guy Ritchie should direct.
Honestly, real quick, Ben, the guys who make Miss Marvel, who are making Batgirl, like they come to mind. Like they got a great style and they know how to do music. Like give them a shot.
Yep. So Sparks, essentially, Sparks, what you're saying is Guy Ritchie can't go the distance.
I don't have faith he can. You're correct.
I don't care if
I
it was
honestly,
low-hanging fruit,
like,
it was
here's-
there, I took it.
I like Aladdin. I think Hercules is arguably more colorful and vibrant of a world than Aladdin.
Mhm.
And I don't think Guy Ritchie even made Aladdin as colorful as it should have been
Mhm.
for what the Disney film is. So
I agree with that.
I highly suspect that like I want my Hera to be pink. I don't want her to be
Yes.
wearing pink. I want her to be pink.
That was my thought. I want to see Hercules when he's glowing. I want him to be a bronze god.
Yeah.
We want Hades to be blue.
Yeah, that'd be I
That
think
I'm
that'd
not
be
worried
fun.
about. I'm sure Hades will probably look correct because they know they can't screw that up. I'm saying I want all the Greek gods to look like the Disney canon version of those Greek gods.
I want the
I want
Hermes
them
with
to
the
be-
glasses.
I want them to be fun. I want them to be exaggerated because, like, we've had plenty of other Hercules things in the interim or Greek mythology things that interpret the gods in a more realistic manner. I want the Disney cartoonish, exaggerated looking gods in live action. That's what I want, and I don't have faith Guy Ritchie will do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
fair.
picked him because of that alone.
I want that glorious Zeus beard from the
My
anime.
boy.
So it's interesting. Guy Ritchie.
Shit,
direct-
I know. I do know who should have done this, but it's purely biased. Like the moment that Ben brought up Zeus, it's Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi should have made this.
Oh yeah, you're right. That would've been good.
The Wrath of Man and The Gentleman came out so quickly with each other that I forgot that he directed both of them. The Gentleman is great. The Wrath of Man, not so much.
Oh yeah, like
He's kind of hit or miss.
yeah, that's the thing. He's hit or miss, and like the one like his Disney attempt, I think it's good, but like for me, I don't want it's not enough of a sell for me.
Can I be a little more specific?
Operation Fortune is his next movie, by the way.
Right. Can I be a little more specific? I think the reason why Taika Waititi so clearly jumped into my brain all of a sudden is because Hercules, I said colorful and vibrant. Hercules is very, very queer coded. It is there. It's with the muses. It's with the gods in their interpretation. That is there. Someone who's willing to get behind a queer lens on the film should be directing it. That's not Guy Ritchie.
No. Honestly, he should have just done the third Sherlock film. Where's that Guy Ritchie?
Good question.
Dexter Fletcher is directing the next one. That's why.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
I am thrilled that we are here because like Hercules is my number one. I pray for the best.
Hope it looks better than Pinocchio.
Oh boy.
All right. Yeah. Avatar: The Last Airbender. We all like that. We know that they created Avatar Studios of Nickelodeon to develop new projects under the Avatar: The Last Airbender brand. Well, we now know what the first three are going to be. There's going to be 3 feature-length films. The first one will be directed by Lauren Montgomery. Now, that's all that's officially known. But a scoop came out, suggesting that the 3 films would be Avatar Kyoshi, then Zuko, and then one set after The Legend of Korra.
I bet my bottom dollar that one of them is Kyoshi.
Me too.
Yeah.
It would shock me if it wasn't.
Kyoshi is so popular.
Mhm.
Like, that's the one you do. That's the one you do.
Ever since
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, ever since Avatar had essentially its renaissance on Netflix 10 years after the fact, everyone was like, we want more Kyoshi. We got some books. I heard the books are pretty good. And I'm the same with Sparks. If they don't announce an Avatar Kyoshi film as their first one, foul. I'll call them.
I don't think it needs to be the first one necessarily, but I'm sure it's one of these 3 that they're working on.
And Lauren Montgomery is a very good choice for it. She's very good. She's obviously she was one of the main directors on Avatar: The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra. Voltron: The Legendary Defender. I love her work, and I'm so happy she's getting this feature. And if it's Kyoshi, I'm even more down.
Absolutely.
Do you guys think that they adapt the comic story about Zuko and his mom? Him and his
I
mom.
thought about that because that was an animated movie that was turned into a comic.
I think they go back and do that because I think that that's something where the comic's out there, but I don't think they have faith that everybody found that the audience found that.
And also, that's a great story to get the the gang all together, essentially, to get Zuko, Aang, Katara, Sokka, Toph, everyone. Although Toph is doing a moment in school, but anyways, it's a good excuse to get the core of the group together.
Because I'm thinking like, how do you do it if Zuko were to be correct that there's a Zuko movie on this list?
Mm-hmm.
If Zuko were to be correct, I'm like, how do you do that and not do the mom story? I know it's been done in the comics, but like a huge chunk of the audience has never seen that.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're gonna do that, and probably and just incorporate like where he ends up into Korra. It'll be the mom stuff. It'll be like a mix of both. But yeah, I haven't read that comic, but like I know people like it.
It's a good comic.
Yeah,
I'm really interested in a Legend of Korra movie. Revisiting that world, seeing them
Together.
again, seeing them specifically together.
Yeah,
that
I
very, very big deal because they did it in the comics, and the comics were a huge deal when they did Legend of Korra comics. That was a huge selling point that made that comic sell very well.
Hell yeah!
But to see it in a live action, not live action, and an animated feature is another thing altogether, and
absolutely,
honestly,
like
arguably more important.
Like a Marceline and Bubblegum.
Like a Marceline and Bubblegum.
Yeah,
exactly.
What I would like to see in a Korra film, I mean, obviously it's Korra and Asami, but like Korra's, like the subplot is like Korra and Asami's relationship, say 5 years later or 5 years in the future.
I don't even care if it's if they walk out of the spirit realm having just finished their honeymoon or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Where we see them at the end of that show.
Yeah.
I would love to. I'm happy about all of this. All this is making me so happy.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is like arguably one of the greatest cartoons ever made. Not arguably, it is. Like it's so good. And Korra might not be as tight, but I love Korra just as much. I am a Korra stan till I die. I think for me the highs are higher, but the lows are also way lower, which is a problem. But for me, the stuff with metal bending and the metal bending city, that is the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Toph's daughter in that show, and Aang's son in that show. I forgot both their names. Were my two favorite characters.
Yeah,
Tenzin and Lin.
Oh, Tenzin.
Lin, thank you.
Voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Yeah, he's so
I
good.
always forget that's J.K. Simmons.
Man.
No, but just the fact that we're finally getting, but the fact that we're getting more Avatar, the fact that Avatar is now super popular. Because I remember back in the day, there were scarcely any Avatar toys. Not a lot of people at school watched it. It was going on in high school. I was one of the very few high schoolers I knew of who actually really enjoyed the show. And now 10, 15 plus years later, I walk into a box lunch and there's so much Avatar merch there. It makes me so happy.
So what's very cool is that in response to this, the live action show decided to remind us they exist by saying they have stopped filming. They are done filming. They're ready to go. I
was just about to say, it's not like a complete correlation, but I think these would be coming out a lot later if the guys who made Avatar were still working on the Netflix show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If they didn't leave it to start doing their own stuff, this could be potentially years later. And I'm so happy.
We know that they left because they weren't let to do their own thing, and they were like, we want to do our own thing. Makes me very happy.
Yeah, I knew everything always comes back, but I'm glad it's coming back sooner than I expected.
Ooh, yeah. I'm so glad you said that, because speaking of everything always coming back, Kit Harington will return as Jon Snow in a follow-up series to Game of Thrones.
So,
thank you for the segue.
Well, you guys,
this is all I'm going to say about that. I will believe it when I see a trailer for it.
There's this bit in the Adam Sandler Mr. Deeds movie where he's at a dinner and there's an opera singer and he gets him to sing "Mistake" very loudly, and that's all I'm thinking of in my brain.
Like they can't even wait for House of the Dragon, which by all accounts, like I think is looking pretty good. It's like shaping up to be a good show.
It's helped by the fact that it's based on a book.
Yes. Also the problem here is that George Railroad Martin is in full support of this show, which means if he has any ties to it, that's one thing away. That's one more thing pushing him away from finishing that book. So Jon Snow is a really beloved character. I think he's one of the characters who ends up like in the best situation at the end of the show, as opposed to a bunch of other characters, whether they die or just end up in really shitty, weird positions. Bran, like the Lord of the Lands. If anything, honestly, like if there's going to be one character who gets a show after Game of Thrones, it's Bran. It's the king, right? Like to me, that seems like that's where the story is. But I guess it's Jon Snow just being a knight again because people like him. I guess,
or just up him up in the north with the
wildlings.
With the wildlings, because they close the door on him when he passes through the wall. They won't let him back in, and he's like, "Look, okay."
I didn't know this was true until I just looked it up. But the last Game of Thrones book was published when the first season of Game of Thrones aired.
Yeah, yeah. It's been almost like a decade. It's crazy.
Yeah, and
it's been more than a decade.
It has not been 1 week since George R.R. Martin looked at me. I talked about it when we were talking about House of the Dragon. Like Game of Thrones lost my trust. That they know what they can do, and regardless of if the same people are coming behind to make this show, I am burned down by the handling of that finale. That I have zero interest in returning to the world that finale gave me. I don't want to. The only reason I'm kind of interested in House of the Dragon is because it happens before the bad writing happens,
and again, it has a book that it's based on.
Exactly. So like, I don't care.
Yeah,
sorry.
I wish I did.
It's totally honestly a pass for me. It'll have to be like incredible for me to give a shit, and I frankly don't believe it will be.
I mean, really, I don't even think this thing is gonna even happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. Good for Kit Harington for getting a job, for possibly getting a new job as a character that he loves playing. But at the same time, it's like I'm also a Sparks. I do not want to go back to post Bran taking the not Iron Throne anymore. I care about House of Dragon because that's the Targaryen dynasty. That there's dragons aplenty in that era, and I'm like, that's what I want. And now it's like I don't want seeing Kit Harington's Jon Snow being a sad boy in the cold anymore. I'm done.
But who has a better story than Bran the Broken?
He has the worst story. That's the
no, that's the joke. Yeah,
I think the worst thing about it is that I can already see that in the show they'll try to like justify and fix in hindsight Dany.
Oh yeah,
and the way that they wrote her, and it won't work.
There'll be some like flashbacks that give us more context, and like
or just people telling stories that it's like, well, it's understandable because of XYZ, and I'm like, no, it isn't.
I watched her perform genocide on people. No, it isn't.
Yeah, I was just about to go into a whole nitpicking rabbit hole, but that's not. Let's get off of this. Can we stop?
I'm glad House of the Dragon is coming out because again, Game of Thrones is a world that I really love, and I would like to explore it again. But yeah, not in the future.
Yeah,
in the past is cool.
What if it's far in the future?
If they make that 1,000 years in the future where there's like people driving next to the wall and the president has dragons, yeah, I'll watch that shit.
All right. So we all like Looney Tunes, right?
I love Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Well, a new movie coming out called Bye Bye Bunny, a Looney Tunes musical, has been announced. This is going to be a fully musical Looney Tunes feature-length film. The screenplay and lyrics are written by Emmy Award-winning Ariel Dumas, whose only credit is the Late Show with Stephen Colbert for a number of years. So that's where she won the Emmy. Music and orchestration by Pulitzer Prize-winning Tony and Grammy Award-winning Tom Kitt, who is a Broadway guy, did the Broadway show Next to Normal. This is going to feature original songs and dance numbers and new orchestrations from the Warner Brothers library of movie musicals. So it's going to incorporate some older stuff on Warner Brothers lot. Brandon Jeffords is going to be a director and supervising producer. He was the co-director of Vivo, which apparently was pretty good. Art department. He did art department on Smurfs, The Lost Village, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And he was a storyboard artist, specifically, this is the important one, on the Looney Tunes show.
Cool.
So he's worked with the Looney Tunes prior.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is for HBO Max, and I'm hoping that it has a proper budget to make it look great, because the 2D stuff of the Looney Tunes show that got canceled on HBO Max, and that's a big shame, looks really good. Watched almost all of that. I think I had a few episodes left, and it's so good. The only reason I didn't finish it is because I didn't want to be done. I really love it, and so if it's got any amount of that charm to it, then we're in for a good time. Much like Disney and the Muppets, I just want them to be utilizing what they have.
Yeah, Maggie's in chat saying he's gonna have a ball with this musical. I think we're gonna have a ball too. I love how they're kind of saying doing bye bye. Is it? Yeah, it's Bye Bye Dolly, right? No, Bye Bye Birdie. Thank you. Yeah, Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye Bye Birdie is the high school show that I won Best Musical in the state, and I gave the acceptance speech at the Betty Buckley Musicals.
Oh.
Nice.
Back when I had dreams.
I was the pimp in Sweet Charity.
That's a Ryan fun fact.
If we're naming enough musicals, I did the bottle dance in Fiddler on the Roof.
If I was a rich man.
I was in Fiddler on the Roof, but I didn't do the bottle dance.
Oh, and
I was halfway down a bottle.
Our director, she made us balance a bottle too. No Velcro, no nothing. If it were dropped, it dropped.
That's real acting.
Yeah.
This film is apparently about Bugs Bunny, who is retiring from the Looney Tunes musical that has been playing on Broadway for a number of years. He is retiring the role, and Daffy Duck is stepping into it, and someone kidnaps Daffy Duck, and now Bugs has to go and save him with all the Looney Tune friends, and find his passion for performing again.
Yeah.
The Looney Tunes show is on HBO Max, right? The one where Bugs and Daffy are roommates.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that, and
right.
there's Looney Tune cartoons, and then there's the Looney Tune show, and that's both these things are good. These are quality Looney Tunes products. I really hope for more good Looney Tunes stuff, guys. Space Jam, blah blah blah, did us dirty.
Yeah. All right. I saw a clip from the Looney Tunes show where Lola's on the phone with Bugs. It's like, oh, I see a guy just like who looks just like you. I'm about to hit him. Huh?
The Looney Tunes show is so good.
All right. Comic book news. Star Wars Visions. We all know that show.
You do.
Takashi Okazaki, who was one of the head creatives on the Ronin, which is the first short film on Star Wars Visions. This is the black and white samurai one.
Nice.
Is going to be writing and drawing a one-shot, it looks like, not a series, of that character again, but after the story from Visions. So it's a follow-up styled like a manga.
Cool.
That's very cool. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
Yeah.
I really like the Ronin story. It's not my favorite one, but they keep expanding that one. There's a book. Mm-hmm. I have it. There's a book about him set before, and now they're doing a comic set after. I think that's funny.
I wonder if you look at like the views on Star Wars Visions, and it's like Ronin 12 million, and then everything else is not as high.
I wonder, because like I want to see like the twins get this kind of love.
Yeah.
All right. We all like Tim Drake as Robin, right?
I sure do.
Remember when he had the longest running Robin series?
Yeah.
I remember him as Red Robin.
He's the only Robin to have a ongoing series up until Robin, Son of Batman. So Tim Drake, Robin, is coming. There's going to be an ongoing series written by Megan Fitzmartin, who is doing the Tim Drake stories in Urban Legends. That's the one where it was revealed that Tim is bisexual and he's got a boyfriend. So she's going to carry over there, and Riley Rossmo will be joining her on art, and she does the art for Harley Quinn's ongoing right now.
Riley Rossmo is a terrific artist. He's such a unique, very cartoonish style. He's fantastic.
Yeah, and basically the story is just going to continue from what Urban Legends is doing.
I would absolutely love to pick this number one up. I love to support Tim Drake if I can. Although Damien's still my boy.
Tim Drake, I love Tim Drake. I think he's a great Robin. I think he's a great character, and I think he's been done dirty for a number of years.
The New 52 ruined that boy.
Yeah, thank goodness. Like Tinian's, like Detective Comics, like really good stuff there. But he's had a rough time lately.
Tim Drake and Wally West, like they just like for like a decade, everyone was just like, sorry y'all.
So I'm glad to see him getting a title again. something that's pretty substantial. This is kind of what I always felt Urban Legends was for. Also, like see what does really well and then spin off something.
Because that's happened a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see it. Doing what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
All right. Midnight Suns. Oh, also, I like to support bisexual characters because it's personal to me. Midnight Suns is getting a 5-issue miniseries written by Ethan Sachs with art by Luigi Zagaria.
Hell yeah.
The team is going to comprise of Wolverine, Magic, Spirit Rider, Nico Minoru, and Zoe Laveau. Laveau? From Strange Academy.
Hell yeah, baby. I am so excited for this book. It's weird that they're naming it Midnight Suns from the game, but it's just brand synergy. I'm not mad at it because the book gets to exist. Wolverine's on the team because you need to sell a book. I'm fine with that. They put Kushala, the Spirit Rider, not just the Ghost Rider from the 1800s, she's also the Sorcerer Supreme from the 1800s. She's a double threat. And she was relocated to side books in Marvel Unlimited digital comics on Marvel Unlimited. And she's getting a big push. And I think she is absolutely the coolest Ghost Rider that's been around, like one of the newer ones. I just love the push. And yeah, Nico from Runaways being in there. The other one from Strange Academy. I stopped reading Strange Academy a while ago.
Can I ask you a question about the Spirit Rider?
Yes.
So it's a character from the past who's been brought to the present.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool character. It's a character from the past brought to the present. It's a Ghost Rider and it's a Sorcerer Supreme. That's awesome.
Yeah. And her design is so cool. One of the absolutely coolest designs for a Ghost Rider. Like Native American inspired and stuff. Like love it. Just I'm so down for this book. I wish Wolverine wasn't in it, but I'm not mad. I get it. I totally get it. Morbius.
Magic was like, we need a friend.
We need someone with spikes.
Yeah, so that should be cool. I might actually pick this up for the Spirit Rider. I'm very interested in that character.
Love it.
And finally, Planet of the Apes has been acquired by Marvel.
What?
Yeah, Marvel will publish Planet of the Apes comics.
You know what that means.
Is Disney making a Planet of the Apes movie?
No. Well, maybe, but Planet of the Apes Marvel crossovers where it's going to be war for the Planet of the Apes, but with Marvel.
Oh, I watched the shit. I read the shit out of that.
Yeah, 100%. Imagine them with like superpowers and shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I've read the Star Trek Planet of the Apes book. It's pretty good. So IDW used to have the Planet. What?
No, I was saying I read that one too. You loaned it to me.
IDW had the Planet of the Apes license for a long time. And this is just another license that Marvel had previously owned in the 70s and 80s, reacquiring. I wonder how many they're going to get. They're collecting like the Infinity Stones. We got Conan. We got Star Wars.
Oh, they don't have Conan anymore.
They lost Conan so soon?
Yeah. There were the rights. Yeah, there's a weird rights thing because none of the Conan comics are in Marvel Unlimited, and Jason Aaron he did his final thing, and like the rights for some reason are being reverted back. It's really weird.
Interesting, because he's still in Savage Avengers.
He is for now.
Yeah,
because that book got made a month ago. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, either way, I mean, they had Conan. I wonder if they're gonna get ROMs back.
They do so much with the Space Knights. They honestly don't have to, but there's no reason that he shouldn't be a part of them.
Except that he's Hasbro.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, I guess you really don't need him because like,
if Transformers is lapsing, I wonder how many other Hasbro titles are leaving.
IDW.
IDW. We could be seeing Marvel pick up Transformers. I didn't even think about that.
I don't need them to own everything.
I was going to say, didn't Marvel publish the Transformers comic books in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. I think they're acquiring the titles they used to have again.
Makes sense. You know what that means? Godzilla's coming. Godzilla's coming.
Oh, if that leads to a reprinting of that old book,
Godzilla versus USA. What's his name? Kaiju USA. There's like a kaiju with an American
Kaiju USA.
Yeah.
I remember that guy. I've got that Godzilla run needs to be reprinted in beautiful color. I'd love to see it.
Nick Fury loves some Godzilla.
Because Godzilla is only you can only get. I mean, you can't really, but like you can find the essential book for it, but it's in black and white. Yeah, that's the only reason why I want Godzilla to be owned by Marvel is to get those books back.
Yeah.
All right. why don't you guys talk about some Final Fantasy VII?
Da, 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 da.
Oh man, this might have been like the best celebration, like
Oh.
best video game celebration, because like nobody expected this to go this hard, and they went so hard. It's like unfathomable the amount of stuff that they released.
I am so happy. I'm so excited. This was like they're doing something that fans have been wanting for a long time. And let's bring it down. Hold up, I got the rundown sheet right here. What do we do?
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So a new episodic single-player mobile game that will allow players to experience the world of Final Fantasy VII and its connected stories, including the original, including stuff from Crisis Core. So this is a mobile game, which at first, and there's Ghost Sparks.
He said he'll be right back.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Yeah. So at first I was kind of because it's a mobile game, but at the same time, it's essentially a HD remaster of the original Final Fantasy VII with the story from Crisis Core thrown in.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
this one doesn't have Crisis Core.
Crisis
Core is a different thing.
So the story of Crisis Core is in this one, but the Crisis Core remake is coming out.
There's two different.
Yeah.
Two. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Brandon. There's like two different things of. This is gonna be confusing.
So what? Real quick,
I get it. I get it.
Well, I'm gonna say it anyway for the audience. Final Fantasy VII Remake is basically bringing in all of the old games to make all of it canon into the new universe and make it all seamless and transitional. So like people who are new to it can just jump in and everything makes sense. I haven't played Ever Crisis or any of that shit. So like this is all for me. I'm so excited for all this.
Ryan, Ever Crisis is essentially a retelling of the first game. Of the first two games, Crisis Core and the original Final Fantasy VII, done on your cell phone. But the combat is essentially the same. There's also, I'm going to assume there's some gacha mechanics thrown in because you see characters in different costumes. You see Cloud in a cool samurai costume. Tifa is in more of a laid-back Valley Girl kind of sweatshirt. And Aerith is in this gorgeous princess dress. It's like, damn. So I'm pretty sure that there's like some stuff to play around. But the cutscenes are essentially HD remakes of, hold up, let me get my visual aid here, sorry. Essentially HD remakes of the original low poly models from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
So they look really good. And it's telling the story from the original game. So, woo. The big one, which I was really excited for, is the remake of Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, which was a PlayStation Portable prequel. And it was exclusive to the PSP and arguably one of the better spin-off of the Final Fantasy VII games that we got during that time, which is, I want to say, 2007, 2008-ish, give or take.
Sounds right. Yeah, PSP. Yeah.
That looked like a crazy good remaster, by the way. I watched the trailer. I was shocked that was a remaster, not a remake.
Yeah, that game has been touted by fans saying it's the best spin-off that we got from the Final Fantasy stuff, because that time we got Advent Children, which I still enjoy, Dirge of Cerberus, which has seen mixed reviews. There's also a mobile game about the Turks that was Japan only, but Crisis Core told the story before, like it was all about Zack. The main character was Zack. And you saw him and Sephiroth's slow descent into madness. And that was locked in the PSP for years. Now it's not. It's coming to modern consoles, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. I can't.
Bro, the thing that they did, it's called like Reunion too, because like they're mixing it directly into Final Fantasy VII Remake stuff. The stuff of Sephiroth, and then it changes his hair to short hair to show like younger Sephiroth. Do you remember that part? That was in
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I'm talking about Crisis Core.
Okay, I'm mixing these titles up like it's crazy. Never mind, keep going.
Yeah, or maybe no, that was in Ever Crisis. I think that was in Ever Crisis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Ryan. I apologize. There's just so much. Yeah, because that was part of the whole thing. Because I remember watching the trailer for Ever Crisis, and it's the scene of Sephiroth in Nibelheim where he's bringing the village, and it's like his classic long hair. Now it's short hair. Now it's not so long. And I'm like, oh my god, you change his hair.
I just wonder what that means. Like, are we gonna see stuff that we didn't see before? People are speculating that that's not Sephiroth. That's one of the guys from Advent Children, and I don't think that's it.
I want to say that's just the gacha mechanic of the game. That's just the gacha mechanic of Ever Crisis, where you can change characters' outfits. That's all I'm saying. You just change the skin, but the main story is the same.
Okay.
So let's see what else. It's Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion that's coming out. It's the PSP prequel game. If I remember correctly, when I saw the trailer, it is coming out on all major consoles: Switch, Xbox, PSP, PS4. You name it, it's coming out. So
winter, this winter,
yes, this winter it's coming out. So hallelujah, praise the Lord! I know it's going to be on my Christmas list this year.
And that would have been enough for fans.
Yeah,
that would have been enough. But they announced the second part of that.
The first trailer for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is part 2 of the FF7 remake.
Of the trilogy. Now we know it's a trilogy.
This game better be long as hell.
Yeah. Actually, I want to let you guys talk about this, and I'll ask a question. So go ahead.
Okay. So this game is obviously picking up right where Final Fantasy VII Remake left off, which if you are familiar with the original game,
it's different.
Yeah, it is different. You're right. It's different. The when I meant the original game, I meant the remake game, where Cloud, Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, Red 13, they're leaving Midgar to go and set things right. And then you see the flashback of Zack carrying Cloud into Midgar, which never happened. Because in the original PlayStation 1 game, Zack died a long time ago. Cloud barely made it there himself.
Bro, this is Evangelion rebuild shit.
This is Evangelion.
They're doing like new timeline using old timeline shit. That's the trailer for Rebirth. I'm gonna start immediately playing Final Fantasy VII Remake because I only played the first hour and then I had to stop and then I just never got back to it. Like that trailer, I'm so hyped. I'm in such a Final Fantasy mood. I downloaded Final Fantasy 14 on my PlayStation 5, which is the MMO. I am so in the zone.
Oh man,
yeah. I'm so in the zone for Final Fantasy. That 30 minutes of just like new game, remake, remaster. I'm like, it's so good.
I'm sorry, I had to step away because I really had to go to the restroom. Can you tell me succinctly what exactly the mobile one is?
By the looks of it, the mobile game is a HD version that melds together the stories from Crisis Core and the original Final Fantasy VII game into one seamless story.
And like it's like a mini.
Yeah, but it's done in the style of the traditional Final Fantasy VII battle system. But at the looks of it, it's going to implement some gacha elements where you can change the outfits of the characters you play as.
So it's like it's like Final Fantasy, the original Final Fantasy VII on your phone, plus the prequel, plus new stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Sure. Is this a different build than the versions you can get on mobile devices right now of just Final Fantasy VII?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. By the looks of it, it's a different build.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So it just looks pretty. Change outfits. And also, I'm going to assume it starts with Zack's story, unless they put in Zack's story when Cloud is telling about Zack. I don't know about that, but of course but I'm excited because Rebirth is definitely changing what Final Fantasy VII is.
Would you say? Sorry, Brandon. Would you say that this mobile game experience is essentially designed to streamline audiences into the original story, to register the separation between that and the remake story?
I would definitely say yes, because you can play the original Final Fantasy VII on Steam. You can get it. It's easy to play on modern consoles, but the thing is, it still looks like the low poly stuff. It still looks like that. It's a lot
kind of ugly.
Yeah, it came out in 1997. It doesn't look. I mean, at the time it looked amazing, but it didn't look good. So I would definitely say this is a very streamlined way to introduce new players into what Final Fantasy VII was before the remake. Because as we know, the remake started to slowly and subtly change things, and now we know Rebirth is going whole hog and they're changing things.
Gotcha. I think it's really, really cool that you can make a 3-game epic off of a game from 30 years ago. I just think that's really cool. Good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, this is only the very beginning trailer. From what I saw, there's going to be a section of when Cloud is telling about how he knows Sephiroth to the game. And there's going to be a place where you actually get to play that battle with Cloud and Sephiroth walking through and possibly find the dragon. I cannot wait to see Sid and the other characters. I really cannot wait to see more gameplay. This is coming out It's aiming to be coming out next winter. I will be okay if there's a delay until, say, spring of 2024. I'm not going to be mad. But
any longer though, we're coming for your kids.
No. But the fact that we are getting something, that we're seeing some cutscenes. It's
real. It's real, is what it is.
It's
like,
real.
It's
That's the thing.
happening.
It's real. It's finally happened. It's real. It's set. They're like, we're working on this. We're good.
People expected this to be like, with the trajectory of how long the FF7 remake took to come out, and then the silence on the sequel, people thought this was going to take 10 to 15 years to get done, right? It turns out it's probably going to be less than 10 years for all three, which is really great. It takes a long time. Like, they don't want to like skimp on the second or third parts because people want them faster, right? Those are huge, high polygon, high quality games. Like, they look insane. So like, I don't mind waiting 4 years for every new one. That's not.
And also, I'm okay with this, with the later two games being on obviously being on the newer consoles, because as much as FF7 is so ingrained into video game culture, into video game pop culture, the fact that Square was like, yeah, a lot of people were complaining about, oh, you're only doing up to Midgard, that's like 10% of disc 1, what's going to happen? And now when they actually played the game, they're like, what are you doing? This is a new experience. It's like something it's something you do know, but at the same time, you're getting a brand spanking new experience. And I am for it, because
something like that recently.
I don't honestly. I'm trying to put my words correctly and say the things, the emotions I'm feeling when I saw this trailer.
It's exciting. No, Ben, it's like it's absolutely exciting, because like, again, like, we didn't expect to see this for a long time.
No,
I don't think anyone truly expected to see it. And the fact that even if it doesn't come out next year, if it comes out in a year and a half, that's still a year and a half closer than I expected it to be. You know, like they showed us a full ass trailer. So I'm like, that game is being worked on for real. It is really exciting.
It is. And thankfully, with the more powerful hardware of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and /S, they can put more, and they can make a longer story. They can make a longer game. They can add more stuff into it that they weren't able to put into the PS4. So I'm not saying this is going to be a 100+ hour RPG. I'm not saying that. I'm not going to be mad if it does.
Together it will be.
Together it will be, yes. But I am excited to see what they're going to do, how far into the FF7 story we're going to go into, and what exactly is going to change and how they're going to play around with it.
So you haven't seen the Evangelion Rebuild movies yet.
Not yet.
I fully suspect it'll go in the same trajectory, where the first one is mostly the same. It starts to change a little. The second one, or third one, because there's 4 Evangelion movies, it starts to teeter way more off. And then the third one, it's a completely new thing. I wouldn't be shocked if the third one, it's like, how did we even get here? Like, I'm so
if they do that, I would assume they're gonna, up to when you get the last party member, which, if I remember correctly, is Sid. Like, we get the whole party: Yuffie, Vincent, everyone. Like, you get Yuffie, you get Vincent, then you get Sid. Once you get Sid, that's when things start to go off the rails completely from what you remember, and then it's a whole different story.
It's a thrilling time for Final Fantasy fans.
I am so excited, and also. I remember I was having lunch at Disneyland when I saw that text, and I was like, ah!
I love it.
Can you confirm, Sparks? I know you were there.
I was there, and I was.
All right.
Oh, and also Grayson. Sorry, real quick. Grayson is in the chat. He said he got to play Crisis Core back on the PSP. Really fun game. Zach's journey during the game was a real fun one, showing how the other 3 soldiers interact. I am excited, once again, to play that game on modern consoles. Never got to play on the PSP, and of course, FF7 Rebirth is coming. Yay!
Just real quick, since we brought up the Evangelion remakes, just a reminder for everyone that if you are interested, we are talking about those for our 300th episode. You got 11 weeks to catch up to all of us. That means Ben also.
Easy money. Only 4 movies.
I got to rewatch them.
You got 11 weeks. You got plenty of time.
All right. We all like Funko Pops.
We do.
In some way, shape, or form.
I like it when my friends buy me ones that I like.
We like Mondo.
I love Mondo.
I mean, I would say this is one of my favorite Funko Pops I own.
Ben, we're off Funko Pops. I'm sorry.
Yeah, where's your Mondo posters?
I don't have any Mondo posters.
We all like Mondo, their vinyls and their posters. Well, what if the two of them were one?
Okay.
In a holy matrimony that happened this week, Funko has purchased Mondo from Alamo Drafthouse.
I'm sure this is a good thing.
Mondo,
Well-
I was encouraged when Mondo put out their letter saying like this is pretty much what we need. We need resources, and we trust the Funko brand to treat us the way they've treated other subsidiaries they've acquired, where they just kind of let them do what they do, just with better resources at their disposal.
So that with
So-
Loungefly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
So basically, what this is, Alamo Drafthouse was they're a small company, and they had Mondo, which is a growing company, and a company that has been growing for quite some time, and it's still about only 30 people work there.
Wow.
So basically what they said, the Alamo Drafthouse was like, no one's getting laid off. They're just merging with Funko to get Funko's resources. It's the same people, very similar. Everyone's saying we're keeping the team together. We're not changing a thing. We're not touching them. What they're doing is working. They just now have our resources to continue to grow.
Awesome.
And
Good to hear.
And Funko has, God, their resources are insane. And I can only see this as a good thing, because aren't the Mondo posters and some of the other things that Mondo puts out, don't they also become like really hard to get?
They sell out fast.
Collector's items, yes.
Yeah.
So I would say I could see this as a great boon for Mondo. So
Yeah.
maybe more collectors can get some more of their stuff.
Yeah, actually, because Mondo puts out great product, but they're also pretty expensive because you pay for what you get. That's not a bad thing.
It's not even necessarily like, most of the time they're pretty reasonably priced when you consider it. It's that you do not have the opportunity to, like, you got to buy it now if you want it.
Yeah.
Like when they're going to drop it, if you don't buy it now, there's no guarantee you'll get it at a later date. So if you don't have the funds now, tough. And that's what can make it kind of hard.
Brandon, remind me, isn't your Godzilla poster the one where it's all rubble but it's in the shape of Godzilla? Is that a Mondo
Indeed.
poster?
It
Mhm.
is. I have 4 Mondo posters. My 4th one, thanks to Sparks.
Is that the Shin Godzilla one?
No, that's the one from Godzilla 2014.
Oh, okay.
I have the Leica one, which is the first 4 Leica films, and then I've got a Pacific Rim one, which I love.
I have so many I couldn't even begin to tell you.
I remember when Brandon first showed me that Godzilla poster at, I want to say it was my very first Comic-Con 2013.
I got it there, yeah.
Yeah, you got it there, and I was bummed because I didn't have the money to get it. So yeah, like Spark says, if you don't have the funds for something kind of tough, like for someone like me who would really wanted that Godzilla poster but wasn't able to get it.
Right when we moved, we got a absolutely gorgeous Creature from the Black Lagoon poster from Mondo that I cannot wait to frame and put up.
Is our Twin Peaks stuff from Mondo too, or is that from different?
Yes, our Twin Peaks pieces are from Mondo.
Our bathroom horror pieces.
I think this is only a win-win.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully Alamo Drafthouse can keep some deal in place that they can still sell Mondo merchandise, because it feels weird to not have the two associated with each other anymore.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But perhaps a deal will be reached.
Sorry, Emma almost turned my computer off.
No more, Dad.
Pay attention to me.
All right. Trailers.
Cheat talk.
Actually, you guys keep going. I gotta go to the restroom.
Hell
Yes, because you two now have the floor to talk about Westworld Season 4.
yeah. Ooh, I like this trailer so much more than the last one. Sparks, tell me you agree.
I do agree. I mean, like, because we have much more context.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of sitting here going, I'm pretty sure 2 of you are dead. I'm just like, well, this is gonna be wild.
Definitely one of them is for sure dead.
Yeah.
I just, again, like my love of science fiction of like what does it mean to be human, and the lines in this of like we need to transcend.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh god, they're going so hard. I love it. And it looks like there's like flies that take over people's bodies. And I'm like, what? And like they're going back to Westworld, and they're going back to like World War II world. And I'm like, all the characters have multiple versions.
Speakeasy kind of time period world.
Seeing multiple versions of Bernard, multiple versions of other characters is so fun. Tessa Thompson as Charlotte, I love her. She's so spicy, and there's 2 versions of her. I love it.
I will say, and maybe you're not in the same place as me. It is low concern, but it is concern. I think we might be drawing Ed Harris's character out beyond what he maybe should be.
Oh no, I 100% agree with you.
Like I think we maybe should have dropped him by last season. I think even last season was starting to stretch. But by now I feel like we probably should have moved on from him. So that he's still there. I'm like, I'm interested, but I think we might be pushing it.
Oh no, I 100% agree. I think his arc could have been concluded, but I just think they just want to have him because he's such a good character.
For sure.
It looks like he's being rebuilt, and like he's like an agent of chaos for them now.
Yeah, I have the perfect analogy for you. I think he runs the risk of the Sylar treatment on Heroes.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
You love him so much, so they keep finding ways to keep him around on the show. Yeah. But I'm like, realistically, we were kind of done with him a while ago. Especially
because like the past stuff of like the Man in Black's past, like all that stuff's like kind of done with, I believe. So
yes.
I do agree with you.
That's like my main concern going in is I'm just like, man, I don't want to get to the point where you kind of ruined the character.
No, I agree. I am 100% with you. I do like whatever the new way of they build robots. There's like weird stuff going through. It looks like the liquid stuff's going through a black suit. It looks incredible. Like I don't know what's going on, but I'm very intrigued.
I love Tessa Thompson taking center stage.
Yeah. The oldest Hemsworth comes back. I forget his name, but old man Hemsworth. Yeah. I love him showing up.
I like that too.
So excited that this trailer gave us more context, and it's like I'm so glad Aaron Paul's back. I like that guy so much. Really I'm feeling positive about this season.
And it looks like we got him teaming up with Thandie Way Newton's character, which is great.
Early reports, early reviews for the first episode are out and they're good. So I can't makes me happy. Very happy.
There's a vibe here. There's this one shot where like a dude takes off a helmet and it looks like we're going a little closer towards like some of the stuff they were doing aesthetically in the films. Specifically, like it almost looks like we're approaching Future World.
Yeah.
The sequel film to Westworld.
That's now that you say that 100% makes sense. He looks like he's wearing like an astronaut helmet. 100%.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It looks like we might be approaching the aesthetic from Future World, and I'm very intrigued by that.
Yeah. God, that line is like, we need to transcend. I'm like, yeah, baby, let's get wild. Love it.
All right, Scavenger's Reign from Titmouse.
I want to let you know, in case you didn't know, Scavengers is a 2016 short commissioned by Adult Swim. It's 8 minutes long. You can watch it on YouTube.
Came out on Adult Swim Toonami.
And this is an expansion follow-up show based off that short.
Heavily inspired by the artist Mobius. Looks, y'all, this is my favorite trailer of the week.
Y'all like right Annihilation?
I 100% thought of Annihilation, like weird stuff growing out of people. What a beautiful hand-drawn animated look. I love this.
You know what else I thought of is Annihilation, and then the Vita Ayala comic that I can't remember the name of.
The Wilds.
That you read a while ago. Yeah, the Wilds.
Absolutely. Yeah, good call.
There's just great imagery here. Highly recommend watching the short if you haven't. If this interests you, like watch that short. This is going to be picking up from that, much as like many animation projects tend to. Really cool.
I am extremely excited for this.
What's the guy? Oh, the guy from Final Space is trying to get a Canoe Kickstarter going.
God damn it. You know what? I should have made sure we put that in the news. Yes, Olan Rogers is trying to get a short made on a Kickstarter for a short made. I think it's already made its like initial funding, so it will happen. But like there's stretch goals for making the animation longer and adding in other things. It is Godspeed. It is its own short that is not at all a spiritual conclusion to Final Space because he doesn't own the rights to the characters or anything. So it's its own thing, friends.
Didn't he say in his video, because I watched his video, it was like, look, I got Final Space because of this, and if this leads me to be able to finish Final Space, I gotta try.
Yeah. So this is a spiritual successor, but it's him wanting to show the hunger enough that he might be able to get some back-end project to just give a conclusion to Final Space, which was he's very honest about it, that like his show was canceled purely because of the it was a decision made in the
AT&T
merger, in the merger decisions, and that's what cost him is the merger decisions between AT&T and Discovery. And that's awful because Final Space is a fantastic cartoon.
So
and his first major show.
he was asking for $80,000. It only made $350,000.
Yeah, we're gonna
That show's gonna look good.
I highly recommend. So it's gonna be a short. I highly recommend if you can to help support Godspeed from Olan Rogers. I really love Final Space, so anything to help him is great. Thanks for bringing that up, Brandon.
You're welcome. Matilda the musical.
I have no affinity or connection to Matilda as I have never seen it, but this looks cool.
I've seen Matilda once and I like it, but I've watched it when I was a kid, so I also have no real connection, even though I've seen it. I think this looks great, though.
I hear the music is really good in this musical.
I was immediately drawn to the song where the kids were like, "We're shitty kids singing shitty songs, being shitty to each other," and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." I'm really into this actually.
Well, no, once again, I have really no affinity towards Matilda. I was just like, oh yeah, that was a movie that Danny DeVito directed, and that was also a book, and
Matilda,
that was it.
This is the first Roald Dahl project to come from Netflix since they bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it is because the musical is very well regarded. Everyone loves the stage show. I saw the movie a few times as a kid. I always found it to be very strange.
Oh yeah.
That's like Roald Dahl's thing.
That's why I love it.
I remember quite enjoying it, so I'm excited to see another one.
I'm definitely now that because again, like I don't remember much of it except for the cultural, osmosis of it. But I'm definitely gonna rewatch it because like I remember liking it and like I can support Danny DeVito again. I'll support my guy.
The girl from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mm-hmm.
The little girl. Not Mrs. Doubtfire. Can you imagine Mrs. Doubtfire as Matilda?
I could, and I want that now.
All right. Kung Fu Panda: The Dragon Knight. Jack Black's return.
I have personally nothing to say on this. Nothing against Kung Fu Panda. Just like I saw the first movie and I liked it, and I never did anything since. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Go do it. He's not muted, so we're gonna hear the whole thing. Okay. What do we think about this one?
I actually did not. I missed this one, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, that's fine. Sparks?
This looks no different to me than the other Kung Fu Panda shows that have been made, except Jack Black is doing the voice.
Yeah.
I have no attachment to this.
I love Kung Fu Panda, the Kung Fu Panda movies. I think those movies are really great.
Those are great movies.
And they've got incredible villains. I was hoping that with Jack Black being in this, like we'd get a different caliber, but it just looks like all the other ones.
Yeah. To be honest with you, between this and the other show, I'd rather watch the other show where he's bonding with his dad because that's at least a more interesting story point to me. And also Christopher Swindle's on it, which is frankly more appealing to me right now than this because it doesn't sound like Jack Black's like in love with this script.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like he's phoning it in.
How do you guys feel about this trailer?
No, I'm not crazy.
Okay, because like I not just because I don't like Kung Fu Panda, I thought this trailer wasn't very good either.
Didn't see it.
But Brandon's point is that like with Jack Black coming back, he kind of hoped that the quality level of it was going to be more on par with the films, but it seems to be just like most other DreamWorks shows that are spin-offs of the films. Like it just doesn't seem of any quality difference from the Kung Fu Panda show that was on Amazon. In fact, I would argue that one seems more appealing to me personally.
You know what the premise of that show is, by the way?
Isn't he training the young pandas?
The reason is because the young pandas all have a special ability from a previous Kung Fu master, like Oogway.
See, it's just a more logical follow-up to where Kung Fu Panda 3 left off than this. This feels totally disconnected from the Kung Fu Panda films because like none of the characters, with the exception of his adoptive father, appear. Mm-hmm. It's like he's just ostracized out of the canon of those movies to do this show. I'm
not even familiar with the universe, and even I could tell like I don't recognize any of these people from those movies.
Yeah, it's the same way they're not in the last show, the Amazon show either. But that was explained because of geographical distance.
Right, that's the thing. Is like if he's staying with the pandas, I get it.
Yeah. And
then it's still the attachment to his dad and everything, and that was following up on plot points from 3. It made sense. But here, this just feels like he's removed from everything to be removed from the movie canon.
Yeah.
not that I'm saying it's non-canon, but like it kind of doesn't care where it's at. So I don't know why I should care about it.
Mhm.
I really
Ryan,
like
you
those.
would really like Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Kung Fu
Yes,
Panda
you
2
would
is amazing.
really like that one.
I
I
think
think I think Kung Fu Panda 3 is also good. I think Kung Fu Panda 2 is the best of the three, personally. I
Okay.
think you'd really like it.
No, two is the only one I've seen, and I loved it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just curious. Why? I'm not someone who would ever watch a sequel without seeing the first. That's just not who I am. So
I was with someone who had free passes, and he really wanted to go see Kung Fu Panda 2. So I was like, I'm not gonna turn down a free movie, and I saw it, and I was like, yo, this is really freaking good.
free movie is actually makes sense.
I will also back up Sparks by saying I do believe, Ryan, you'd really like 2. Ben, I think I think you really like all 3, and you should do that.
I was interested in watching the first one and the third one when it was
Gary,
coming out.
The whole story of 2 is good, but Gary Oldman's Peacock villain is exceptional.
He's the reason why I love the movie so much, is
All right.
because of how good
Quite
of a
honestly-
villain he is.
Quite honestly, Kung Fu Panda, the whole trilogy, have great villains.
They do. I don't disagree.
Is J.K. Simmons one of them?
Isn't he the third one?
Is he the first one?
No, that's Ian McShane.
He is. You're right. He is the third one. He's the ox in the third one.
Yeah,
Oh.
Ian McShane is the first one.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Ian McShane?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ian McShane's the first one.
The villains in the Kung Fu Panda films. The last time I was watching, I was like, you know what? They've always been well-rounded and well-developed, and their motivations make sense. And they're like solid. Like sometimes some of the best villains in cinema, honestly.
The Kung Fu Panda films are shockingly quite good.
Okay. Unfortunately, this one does not look on par.
All right. Let's go.
Dragon Ball Super superhero.
I want to get this right out of the way. This is a bad dub trailer.
Uh-huh.
Like this is clearly like they're pulling the lines without having synced them to the film yet at all. So
Mhm.
like nobody looks in sync or emotionally correct. So it's like it just looks disjointed and bad. It's a bad dub trailer, which is a bummer because Broly had fantastic trailers, Japanese and dub. This does not. This is a bad dub trailer, and that hurts it a lot because when I've watched the Japanese trailers, I haven't been as bothered.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, y'all. I'm really noticing this animation.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's bumming me out if I'm being honest. They're
hoping-
relying on it a lot. It seems like.
Well, it's like the whole movie. The
Yeah.
whole movie is this. They made this choice.
Yeah,
I don't think it was the right choice.
I want to say something about the animation.
Yeah.
Because I had to look this one up. I had to look this up to be sure. This is a 3D 2D hybrid
Mhm.
to an extent. Because Toriyama's designs don't always work in a 3D space. So you have to enhance with 2D. And I think that looks like still images I quite like because they look really dynamic and you can notice like the 2D elements and it looks pretty. It's when it's in motion that it's odd.
It's a shame that it's a movie.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that when I'm actually in it,
Me too.
when I'm not like watching clips and small snippets, that if I'm actually in it after I adjust, it will work for me for the context. As long as the story's there, I don't think it will bother me as much. It's certainly not going to look as good as Broly, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
The one positive I want to give this trailer is that, and I obviously from the other trailers we knew Gohan was the main focal point of the story, but seeing Gohan get back to form again, seeing wearing his old Piccolo outfit again,
Yeah.
and what I think is him going Super Saiyan 2 again is like finally put Gohan back front and center, make him the badass he always was.
I'm really interested to see slight spoilers for Super Ben, but I'm really interested to see how they've progressed Gohan because the last time we really saw him train with Piccolo, he was like, I want to learn how to get stronger without going Super Saiyan.
Actually, that's when he was training with his dad, and he said, "I'm gonna find a way to be stronger than you my own way."
My own way.
Oh right,
Yeah.
and then he goes to Piccolo.
Yeah. To Piccolo to train, but he told his dad after he trained with him, he's like, "I'm gonna find my own path, rather than doing what you do."
And I'm
Mystic
interested
Gohan.
to see that go on. To
Mystic
continue.
Gohan 2.
Yeah, we definitely see Mystic somewhere in this movie.
Yeah.
His enhanced form that he used to fight Boo is certainly
Mega
present.
Mystic.
I'm still intrigued on the plot. you pretty much can't convince me at this moment that it's not either Cell or Android 21. It's one of the two. I'm positive is in that damn thing.
I'm feeling Cell. I felt Cell in this one. Yeah.
Where did Cell touch you?
When they
Honestly, anywhere he
they
wants.
put in the dialogue line that said "Calamity is back," I was like,
Now, Ben,
Yo.
I put this in the news because I think it's kind of cool. The new voice actors have been announced, and the only recognizable name that I saw that I thought you would like is Charles Martinet,
Yeah, voice
It's
of
like-
Mario.
Crazy.
Magenta.
Good for him.
Cool.
I mean, obviously, when you hear his name, the big thing that comes to mind is, of course, he's the voice of Mario. But that just shows that he is still a voice actor who's like, yeah, I can do other voices and I can do other roles. So I'm
Watch
like,
it just be Mario.
the team that is behind these dubs is just cheeky enough that I would not be surprised that if that character gets smacked to the side once, he's gonna go whoa, like it's gonna happen.
probably.
To try to be positive on this animation, in Broly, they used a lot of 3D during the fights, and it looks good during some of the high intense fight stuff. So I'm sure the fights are gonna look good. I just wish we could have because I know it's more expensive. Obviously, it's more expensive, but like, it's just a shame that like the entire movie is gonna have to look like this now.
I will say, like, I really hope the story is strong for this. I really do, because I think right now it's running. I'm working so hard not to pay attention because this is out in Japan already, and I'm trying not to pay attention to what's up.
I found it online already, and I'm not gonna watch it.
No, yeah, I'm gonna wait. I want to see it in theaters, but like, I'm avoiding all that shit. But I think this runs the risk of feeling like a side movie venture, like some of the later Dragon Ball Z films did, rather than an adventure with our cast, because like it's a known fact. I'm not spoiling anything. Like pretty much what you're seeing of Goku, Vegeta, and Broly is the amount that they're not going to show up for the final fight. They're staying off for their own shit. Which seems to be very exciting that they brought Broly to be trained on Beerus's planet, which is I'm jamming. Oh my god, feeling boy.
Imagine Broly like going like Super God, Super Mega God, Super Saiyan or whatever.
He doesn't need to. His base Super Saiyan is stronger than Super Saiyan God.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of the problem, is like you're explaining why we're not getting those characters in this film, which is cool and fine, and I get it. But it's also making me like, yeah, but is there any way I come out of this movie not itching for the thing that does more with those guys because of that?
Yeah.
And that's going to be tough. Like that makes it so the story has a big hurdle to overcome, and I really hope it clears it.
I believe in
need to
Gohan.
watch Dragon Ball Broly again.
Yeah,
Broly.
I haven't
that's a
seen
great
it.
movie.
I haven't seen it since theaters.
That's a mistake. That's
I know,
just a
and
mistake.
every time I see it on the store on Blu-ray, it's like I should pick this up, but it's like no, I don't have the money. I gotta pick up other things.
It's true.
All right. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yeah, this looks great.
Boy,
This looks great.
Spider-Verse was the best thing to happen to animation, y'all. For real. Like this doesn't look like exactly like Spider-Verse or anything, but like it's not the Shrek 3D style. It's doing this like incredible, almost kind of like the Bad Guys, right? Was that the
Bad Guys.
The Bad Guys? Yeah, where it's like a really good look and like it looks funny. My one critique, I hate 3-minute trailers that show you a lot of the movie. I feel like I saw like a lot of like the plot, which is fine. I just don't like 3-minute trailers. They're way too long.
Sure. I love the 2D animation hybrid stuff we're getting here. I think it looks great. I think this was the first time I saw a Puss in Boots trailer on the big screen, was before Lightyear. I don't think I'd actually seen one in theaters before that moment, and so it looks great on the big screen. I can really see the strength of the animation. I love Puss's stupid beard.
Yes.
I'm here for it. I'm very happy.
I haven't seen Puss in Boots, so I guess I'll have to watch that.
I haven't seen.
It's worth doing.
Yeah, I haven't seen the solo Puss in Boots movies either. But this animation
one.
does. Oh, one. Excuse me. I haven't seen the solo film because when it came out at that time, I was kind of done with the Shrek universe. I was done with the. I would say I was done with the new Shrek ones. I still haven't seen Shrek Forever
You're
or
fine.
Shrek 4.
You're fine.
You are so okay.
You're so fine. It's not even funny.
But I must say, I do love Antonio Banderas' Puss in Boots, and 2. 2 is my favorite Shrek film. It's an amazing film.
That's a great film. Yeah.
2 is the best Shrek film.
Yeah, it is the best Shrek film.
It is. I
but-
agree.
Yeah, but I will say this animation is gorgeous. Like, I love where he gets the espresso and just the fight scenes. I'm like, man, this looks rad.
I really like the first Puss in Boots film. I'm very happy we're getting a second one.
Oh God, the voice cast, real quick. The voice cast for this is insane. So obviously Antonio Banderas, Selma Hayek, Florence Pugh as Goldilocks, John Mulaney is in it, Olivia Colman, Ray Winstone. Come on, crazy, love it.
Yeah, I'm stoked that this looks as good as it does.
Yeah,
and it really does.
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
All right. Main topic?
To infinity.
Main topic.
And beyond.
Just trying to do like the finger thing, but no.
All right. Full spoilers for Pixar's newest film, Lightyear. We are back in theaters for a Pixar. You've been warned. What do we think about this one?
Anyone? Okay, cool. I'll go first. I really liked this film. I had an absolute blast. The more I sit on it, the more I love it. Really, my biggest critique is that there are some parts of the movie where it just felt a little awkward in some line deliveries. But other than that, it looks absolutely stunning. It was I thought it was a really good sci-fi film, and I had fun. I had an absolute blast with this movie.
I'll go next. I think there are a lot of really great elements in this movie that I really like. When I look at it as a whole, I think it's good. I think it's a good movie. It's definitely not top 10 Pixar. Maybe not top 15 Pixar. I don't know how many movies I made, actually. That's not true.
26. We just had a 25 film discussion.
You're right. Absolutely. This is in the middle. Absolutely. This is a middle Pixar movie for me. Absolutely. I didn't hate watching it whatsoever, but especially after turning red. I was like, man, this just feels like a movie I'm watching half the time, which kind of bummed me out, to be honest. But I enjoyed it.
Sparks.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I definitely had ramped down my expectations a while back because I was getting too hype and I knew it. And I'm like, all right, I don't want to be upset. So I pulled it back, and it's not everything I think I would have envisioned the Lightyear film to be, but I'm still pretty darn pleased with it. We'll get into the minutia of it, but I really like the space ranger venture feel of it, and I really think that it executes on the story it's telling well. Yeah.
I think I fall with you, Sparks. I pretty much echo everything you said. I really enjoyed this one. I had a good time with it. Not as grand as I would like a Lightyear film to be, as I kind of always envisioned what something like that would be. But I was happy with it. I'd totally watch another one, honestly, if they wanted to make a sequel. All right, so that's why we dive in. What do we want to start?
I don't know. I'm definitely the lowest on this movie, so you guys start.
All right. What we've talked about this before, and I'll extrapolate on this again. But what I love about Pixar films and Pixar trailers specifically is that they never fully tip their hand on what the film is about. Because with the trailer, especially the second trailer, it felt like, oh, Buzz goes back to his 60 some years in the future, and it's like from the now to the then to the future.
Right.
But the fact that Pixar decides like, no, this is him constantly, they're trying to test out to see what's the right mixture. I love that. And you see Hawthorne age. You see her go through her lives. You see her engagement, her wedding, her son's graduation, all of that. And I could have swore in my theater there was a few people sniffling when she was giving the last hologram message to Buzz, and you see little baby Izzy.
It was us.
It was us.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't the theater. It was us.
No wonder.
I think that that decision is my favorite decision about the whole film.
Yeah.
Is the narrative choice that this is Buzz making a choice to do these 4 years and not weighing the cost on himself, and punishing in essence punishing himself for a perceived mistake. And costing himself life, like life with people he cares about. And that felt so much more rich than what I thought we were going to get out of the time jump from what we got in the trailer. So to your point, Ben, I think that was like, I'm so glad I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Because like in the moment of watching it, I'm like, oh, Buzz, what are you doing, bud? Oh, buddy. Ooh, here you go.
I talked last week about the Buzz Lightyear little mini documentary on Disney Plus. A reason why I felt like it'd be best for you guys to watch that after is because it tells you that story beat that he's been jumping 4 years.
Oh, that's awful.
I knew that going in, but it didn't impact my enjoyment of that. I still think it's one of the best things that the movie incorporates. I really liked what that meant for Buzz, what that does for the story, and how you see all the place just expand over time.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
I love how how it does expand. I love how of how the base grows, of how like the turnip is the main building, but then you got all these other buildings popping up, and even I know we're jumping ahead to the end of the film here, but when they blast off and you see a much more greener planet, a much more tamed and maybe not tamed, but more agricultural. There's like a more lush green fields, like farms that are growing there, and it's like, so they really are okay with making this planet their home, and I kind of dig that.
And that's the thing of like, that's Buzz's punishment, right? Everyone is living their life and realizing like, well, actually we've got a life here, and I wouldn't want to lose this. I wouldn't want to trade what we got. And he never understood that because he keeps jumping 4 years.
Right. And Buzz is the only one who truly feels like being on this planet has become a mistake.
Yeah.
And other people have accepted it, and Buzz refuses to accept it. I think what's really good about Lightyear is that they do a great job of extrapolating backwards from the toy to create the character that would have made that toy. Because up until the moment when Buzz sees the toy commercial in Toy Story, there's a lot of connection between that character and this character. They're both so stubborn, so overconfident, so locked into their own sense of mission and what they need to do, that I think they do a great job of expanding on that character. And then it doesn't feel wrong to me that Buzz would need to be hit over the head with the lesson, right? For most people, it would be enough when Hawthorne passes away for him to be like, okay, I have gone off the rails with this.
Yeah.
But Buzz has to literally be faced with himself going off the rails with it to recognize, oh, oops.
Yeah.
And I think that's very good. And I think to that point, I think that was a great way to play the anticipated, like, it was one of the things I was really curious how they were going to handle it, because Zurg being Buzz's father is a Toy Story 2 joke to Star Wars that doesn't actually like mean anything more than that. It's just a fun reference to Star Wars. Toy Story is full of references to Star Wars. And it's one of those. And I'm glad they didn't stay married to that concept, but I am glad that they tricked the audience with it. So when he first appears and he says, Dad, you're like, oh, dang, they're really doing that. And then it's like, nope, way more complex than that.
Is it that more complex, though?
More complex for the character. I'm not going to say like a complex storyline.
Okay.
But it's a more, but to that point, it is a more complex, character confrontation in this than in the sense of like, this is Luke when he slashes the mask and it's Vader's instead of Vader's face, it's Luke's. This is going directly for that. This is going for the heart of that completely, and having him have to be like, I see that I have gone completely into this rather than like using the parallel of the father. And I think that makes it a deeper character analysis that Buzz has to create for himself.
I'll agree with that.
Going into that moment, I really actually enjoyed that, how they kind of twisted it, because when he says Dad, I'm like, part of me was like, oh no, they're actually doing the joke, because once again, like Sparks said, Toy Story is full of jokes and references just for jokes and reference sake, and I was like, oh shit, is that actually a thing? And then the fact that it's like it's an older version of him, I'm like, oh, we're really going into this like time travel thing. Okay, I can dig it.
I always really like that trope older screwed up version of you meets younger different path version of you. So immediately I've got a bias for that sort of plotline. It's honestly the only reason why I like the Lost in Space movie, which is awful. But I really like how that creates a situation where you really see why, and almost like James Brolin Buzz Lightyear almost accidentally made this version of Buzz Lightyear, right? Because he went back in time. So he's seeing this other character when he says like, well, what about Izzy? And the older guy goes, who's Izzy? Really like seeing the two different, it's such an effective, simple moment to differentiate the two paths that they went on.
I absolutely agree. It is also a trope I love. My problem with it, from the devil's advocate perspective, is the execution of it, because we are the mystery of for a long time, like, what is Zurg, who is Zurg, right? And I think some of it might be coming down to is like, we discovered this information in 1995, but like Zurg is like this random enemy for the next 30 years for Buzz. So that's for me, that's a little issue, that it's Buzz Lightyear as Zurg, right? Buzz just goes to the future and finds a Zurg mech suit randomly.
Yeah,
that pisses me off.
Sure.
You're telling me the origin story of Zurg from all of this is, oh, I found the ship. There's no logic. There's no. You're just supposed to not think about it. Just don't think about it. Don't think about it too hard. And unfortunately, I'm a thinker. I like to think about movies. I'm not saying you guys did. That's right. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just like the logic is not there for me. It felt like a twist for just being a twist for me. And I love the idea. They could have done the same thing, but like, show me your dark descent into madness. Show me all of that. Don't show me I found the ship and I came back. Like, that's I had a problem with it real hard, and I like his performance and everything. Like the situation itself, I like. How we get there, I think it's lazy as shit.
I think you've got.
I won't disagree with that point real quick. I won't disagree with finding the Zurg suit. I do think is lazy.
I won't disagree either. There's the other thing of like, you say like show the slow descent into madness. You're right. Like there's another version because he says it in dialogue.
Show me, don't tell me.
Why are you so old if you went back? Well, it's because it wasn't an exact science. Like, this is the furthest point I've been able to get to, because he was centuries in the future. Yeah. He says. So coming back, he had to come back incrementally, which caused him to age. I think that's pretty cool. That I think you could have done visually with the narration, even if you wanted to keep the narration, that could have been pretty effective. Honestly.
Absolutely. Show the thing that Buzz was doing earlier, but show instead of it like him doing it happy mission, he's okay doing the mission, he's getting worse and worse every time it happens to him. So you see how he gets there. Because like we're just supposed to accept this is evil Buzz, but because we know Buzz Lightyear, that's just like, we don't have to think about it any harder. And I'm like, the stuff you talked about, Sparks, of like how he is different from Buzz, I do like. But again, like how we get there, I'm just like, there's like no real effort. There's no effort. He literally walks into a ship in the future. A Zurg suit opens up. I expected him to fight a Zurg, to be taken over by a Zurg. Like, I expected more. Because again, this is his Darth Vader, and I'm just like, this is the origin. This is what you gave us.
I don't disagree with the origin of the Zurg outfit and all that being very lazy. I think that's valid. I think that's totally fair. What I do think is that I find the character of Buzz up to that point, right? The fraction point between them in time is not the best dude, right? Yeah. Like, I can believe that without the optics that push him specifically, like if we want to be simplistic, it's Izzy, right? The existence of Izzy is what changes Buzz's mind. Otherwise, he's all for, sure, go back. Let's just make it so I never screw up. Yeah, he is so selfish. He is so selfish and egotistical that he would easily, without the evidence to push him in another direction, go down that path. I do believe that if he pushed himself, all the way to the end of the universe in the future, and was convinced of that, like I think that works. I think that Buzz up to that point, as he's presented to us in the film, our main character feels like he's riding that edge of, he could go down a really shitty path or he could go down a good path, and which one is he going to do? And for me that works. That I don't think I don't think James Brolin's future Buzz necessarily needed much of a big push to be an asshole. And I really like that Izzy is at the center of that, that change in Buzz's mind.
Yeah, me too.
For a lot of reasons. I like it because of the relationship that's developed between them in the film. But a really great thing that I really wanted to spotlight about it is that, you know, there's all the talk about the same-sex kiss scene in Lightyear, and that is like in general, like we kind of talk about that as like a small accomplishment, you know, like it's a small thing. They got to put it back in. It was going to be taken out of the movie, but they got to put it back in, and yay, it's there, and good. We get some same-sex representation. But what's all the more valuable is what Pixar did so sneakily, is that not only is it present, it is marked as important by our main character, because essentially what he comes down to is, I can't go and do what the villain is saying to go back in time and undo my mistake, because I would wipe away that same-sex relationship.
Mhm.
That is too important to erase. I think subtextually that's awesome.
This is the most progressive movie of the 90s.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Another, because we've been really positive, and I got to be me real quick. You're telling me this movie came out in 1995, and socks didn't become a household item for everyone to buy?
Yeah.
If you're gonna do the dumb thing of this is a real movie in 1995 and Andy saw it, this is a toy, you can't put other better, cooler shit that we know would be popular like that. That's it. Like, it would have been cool if like we saw socks in like the background of a movie and like nobody remembered. It's like, oh my god, it's that thing. Like, but here's the big marketing push of this movie, and of course it only exists in our world, not in the toy world. And it's like, it's just a little attention to detail thing. I'm like, okay, that's socks rules, by the way. I love socks.
Oh, no,
Yeah, socks is great.
No,
Socks
no complaint about the character.
MVP of the movie.
It's just one of those. It's just one of the things where like they had the picture of Andy with all the toys at the theater. I'm like, wait, why are the claw guys at this theater watching this? And I'm like, I can't. This is I can't think about this. It's a road I can't go down.
I bought you 5 minutes.
I bought you 5 minutes. Yeah.
Socks is great, and I was kind of into socks for a lot. Like in the beginning, we see so little of it. I was like, oh, okay, so we're probably not getting a lot of it. It's when he's like, oh, by the way, I figured this out. I figured out light speed. It only took me 76 years. And then I was like, okay, he's pretty cool. He's pretty helpful. And then I bought you 5 minutes.
my favorite part of that bit is Buzz being like, wait, was that for me? In case I got out of line, I bought you 5 minutes.
That's probably the hardest I laughed in the movie.
Yeah, that was real good.
It was very unexpected. I loved it.
It was also such a great callback when older Socks does the same thing to older Buzz.
Oh yeah, I bought you 5 minutes.
Yeah, like when at first I thought Socks was just gonna be like this plucky little cat who's like, okay, yeah, he's cute, he's adorable. I see him on marketing. Now after this movie, it's like I am totally fine with going to the store and buying a Socks toy.
You know what I thought was very funny also, when he did Lightspeed and he's landing, the confetti comes out of his console.
But I also like the. That was a great
funny.
That was a great 90s reference. What else was that?
No. That's stay. Don't move off of the point, because I really want to talk about the technology in the movie. How they visualize the technology is very of the time. It's very 90s with like the small screens with the green screen with all the big buttons, and I thought that was very was a very nice touch. Even like Buzz's the Space Ranger, the proto Space Ranger suit, the one that we thought was the original, but that's at the end. Looks very 90s, very retro future, something you would see in like Alien. I thought that was very cool and a very nice touch.
Yeah, I think I have no problems with the movie at all visually. I think it looks great. I think all like the foliage and like the alien creatures look great. I love the way that their camouflage activates. It's very like old school Dune, but like the big blockies things happen.
I saw that too. Yeah, very Dune.
Yeah.
I thought as we were getting through it that I'm like kind of bummed that like his outfit doesn't look like, you know, Buzz's outfit.
Give it time.
The jetpack isn't there, the laser isn't there. But what I liked is that as the adventure goes, like he utilizes those things and goes, you know what, we should make these standard issue. These are things all Space Rangers should have.
Because if you notice, there's an interesting thing happening throughout the movie. He loses every single weapon.
Yep.
Except for the wrist gun.
Yeah.
So like he's like, yeah, these guns don't work. This sword thing doesn't work. We got to get this thing.
Yeah.
There's the old lady character who can put anything together to make it explode, and they don't utilize that enough, in my opinion. They do it once at the end, and I'm like, that was her whole thing. There were so many opportunities where she could have MacGyvered her way out of there. I thought that was just, again, like,
Sure.
could have been used more. Like, if you're gonna introduce that element of a character and not use it until the very, very end, I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
I thought Taika's performance was pretty subdued, considering.
I'll be honest. Taika, when he's not in movies he's directing, I'm like, what? Fine on. He's fine in this movie. He's fine.
Yeah.
I did like that the old lady, every time she gets, like, hands on a weapon, it's always like it's getting progressively bigger and bigger weapons, and she's like, this is definitely violating my parole.
that is good. Why'd you get arrested? I stole a ship. Well, everyone got it.
Well, actually, you know what? I've thought that once too.
I get that.
When Zurg, by the way, Giacchino's score, I really like Giacchino's score in this. His Zurg theme that plays when Zurg is like chasing Buzz, and like the big like operatic orchestra happening is awesome.
Yeah.
I agree.
And Zurg has this moment where he like beckons Buzz over. I thought it was going to be the rookie from the beginning of the movie.
So did I. I was like,
is it
Feather Hammerstein?
Feather Hammerstein, yeah.
Yeah, is it going to be that guy? He lived 100 years as a robot.
I think honestly, like, my favorite scene in the movie is when the yellow Zergbot comes to attack them, and like Buzz is trying to fight him, and Taika Waititi's trying to throw shit. It's not working, and everyone just sucks. And he's like, "Wait, y'all aren't Space Rangers, are you?"
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fun scene. I think the strength of the Space Rangers is incredible. They're able to not only twist parts off of robots, but also giant intergalactic ships. They can just twist screws off, because screws are definitely not hard to pull off. I thought that was a fun little touch. I'm like, wow, they got strong fingers. Good for them. Wow.
It's the gravity.
It's the gravity. You're right.
Yeah, it's a denser gravity on this planet.
It makes you so strong.
Yeah, definitely. I think the guy reminds me of some the guy who replaces what's his partner's name? Hawthorne.
Alicia Hawthorne, yeah.
The guy who replaces her reminds me of another character in a similar position that I can't recall, but he has one of my favorite bits in the movie, which is actually post credits, when he just goes laser shield.
That was pretty fun.
I thought that was very funny.
Very reliant on the laser shield.
Yeah,
it's just like, because he's doing you know what he reminds me of? The way he does the laser shield thing, I remember it in my head as very similar to the old man from Atlantis.
The Lost Empire?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been
I don't know why.
Sure.
Well, it has been too long.
Yeah, I think visually the film is a treat. It's like, I enjoyed just watching the Space Ranger adventure. I do think like the lesson for Buzz is really, really heavy-handed. Like, you see it coming at all times. Like, you just watch him going down the wrong. But I also think that's like the point, is that Buzz is
he's too stubborn to realize it.
Yeah, way too in his own shit to get it, and he needs to like really have it hammered at him over and over again.
So I was starting to get a little annoyed, because like I was like Buzz sucks. Like, that's the thing. Like, he sucks until he gets better. Like, that's the thing in Toy Story and in this, right? So the point when they're in the cone shields, and Buzz is like, if I join you, I can't save you. And they're like, Buzz, we don't need you to save you. We need you to join us.
Yes.
And that's the moment where he's like, oh, all right. Like, I was like, that's good. That's a good scene.
Yeah, I agree. I like those cones. I thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah,
the way they visualize that, and I think
like
they do
physical.
that. I think they do that in good increments, just like constantly challenging Buzz to get him to recognize, like, the problem is that you don't believe that anyone can help you.
Mm-hmm.
When he feels like he fails, when they lose the hyperspeed fuel, and he's got this moment where he thinks that all is lost, like he will never be able to save everyone. He even says something along those lines, still refusing to believe that people could be happy there now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so long that the people who you were trying to save in the first place are dead.
Yeah.
Everyone there is at least second generation person who lived on that planet.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that they like thread a very real line of that, right? Like, there is still an amount of sadness, and like, even on Hawthorne, like, she had a good life, she's happy, she did still want to be a space ranger again.
Yeah.
She didn't feel the same way as Buzz did, where like that's the only way I'll matter.
Yeah.
Which is what Buzz feels, but she did want that. Like that's not absent. It didn't just like go away, and I do like that's still there too with her character. But I do think like they do a great job. God, that time jump montage sequence is very good, just to illustrate Buzz's fixation and how he's just totally missing the point of what's going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really do like that montage, because you just kind of see everyone around him change, and he's so stubborn. He doesn't notice that people are getting older.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm gonna do this, and we're all gonna get off. He can't. Even at the end, I still think he's still trying to believe he can save his partner. He can save Hawthorne.
Right. It's very Maverick.
It's
very Maverick in the way that, like, by no mistake, I'm sure that there's a lot of inspiration there. It's very much that in the way that he's so about the mission, because there is a good heart within Buzz of, I'm doing this to help others.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make life better for other people. But there's an obsession, an unhealthy obsession with being the person who fixes it and being fixated on doing that I think creates like both like the rich development of our main Buzz throughout the storyline, but also makes it possible to believe in the older alternate future Buzz.
Yeah.
His existence anyway.
I wish that they had explained how Lightspeed worked prior to the time dilation, because it's a surprise when he comes back. There's like, hey, time dilation happened. Like, oh, what? Like, they didn't expect it, and they were traveling Lightspeed in the beginning of the movie. So I wish that they had given us like a point of reference of where where we were in the beginning of the movie. Was there time dilation happening? Was there not? How did they figure that out?
I'll be honest.
Here,
one of my biggest problems with the movie is the fixation on the plot of the fuel.
Mm-hmm.
One of my, honestly, when it happened in the movie, I was like, oh yeah. So can you guys tell me what socks is? Is socks something that you can give to everyone? Is it a super sophisticated thing that only one person is allowed to get? Like I
got the impression that it was built by Hawthorne.
Okay.
For Buzz.
Okay, so there's no other socks in existence, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that was a first question to help my other question. They spend 60 years trying to figure out this formula, and then the cat is able to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And all it is 4 numbers. It's like, it's a ratio. It's like 22, 10, 30, like, and then it gets destroyed. It's like, oh, the formula's gone. You're telling me a super sophisticated AI cat can't remember what that formula he's been working on is? He's a computer.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Also, my other problem with the space stuff, they focus so hard on this exact thing. It has to be this fuel. There's a giant spaceship up there that has intergalactic travel. Why don't they just use that ship when they try to kill Zerg? Like, that's a ship that's fully operational, has technology from the future that can help them way more than a tiny shuttle that might work. Like, they had a completely other opportunity to, they just really wanted it to be, a Buzz Lightyear Star Command ship thing. When I was like, you guys got a perfectly good working ship up there. They're like, when they got sent up to space, I thought that was going to be like, oh, we're going to use this ship to escape. But they just go right back down after. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah. They need I get the impression that they were able to remake the fuel because at the end they're
I just assumed Socks still would know the formula.
Yeah, because they like put new formula into the box ship that they designed. So I just assume Socks didn't forget the formula when he lost the thing.
But he freaked out. He went, "Oh no, the formula! Like, it's lost."
Oh well, I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Okay, no, I mean this is not me like attacking you. That's me like, yes, the plot, it's not as thought out as I wish it was for me. Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's more to add tension for like. I think that's more to add tension because like they can't leave that behind for them now, because where Buzz and Socks are going, like they don't know where they're going to end up or if it'll succeed.
But he's always had
And-
the formula.
and so-
He's always had the formula though, and he only recites it when they need it at the end of the movie. Is what I mean. Is what
Right?
I'm
No, I'm saying like the reason he freaks out because the device gets destroyed is I think they were going to leave the device for the people still there in case they fail,
saying. Oh, sure. I guess.
or like
I
that
didn't.
they
I
go
didn't.
too
I
far.
didn't. I didn't personally get that intention. They could have also like said it like, "Oh no, the people." But like that's a good point. Yeah.
I really liked the message that Socks had corrupted in his file from Hawthorne that he he plays. That does a cool little slight reference to the "Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi" bit when it glitches.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sweet speech. The Infinity and Beyond stuff got me a lot more emotional than I thought it would. Specifically at the end when Izzy says it
Mhm.
and they do the thing. That
Yeah.
was very cute. I really liked that.
Yeah.
I did too. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think the visualization of those new suits too. I think that rules.
I do too. I like Izzy a lot. I'll be honest. Like, if Izzy wasn't as strong, I'd probably be more down because like the other two characters, like they were just fine to me. And there was also like a third robot that just totally gets left behind, which is sad.
Oh yeah, Derek.
Derek.
Realistically, like you don't totally need the old lady in Taika Waititi's character.
Mhm.
Like I mean,
No.
like you could have told a story that just relies on like Buzz just being able to trust in Izzy. But I do think it is valuable for Buzz to recognize the value in trusting even in people that he sees as screw ups, because he wouldn't necessarily see Izzy that way, but he definitely sees the other two that way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like
I
for
just-
the lesson you're going for, like I think that is valuable.
Yeah.
I will say that like their characters are very like they're shallow. You know what their trope is, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
They have their characteristic, and that's their whole personality.
It's just generally in Pixar movies, the side characters are really great, and I just found them to be just totally there. They're cool.
The food that they consume is funny. I
yeah.
especially like the bit when they're talking about how they make sandwiches 100 years in the future.
That's how a sandwich should be.
Meat, bread, meat, and everyone's like, "What are you talking? Bread, meat, bread. That's too much bread."
Once I saw this movie, I'm like, I gotta start a petition, y'all. There's too much bread.
He's like, "But it's so juicy." He's like, "That's the best part. Juicy fingers."
Juicy fingers.
Yeah, I like this movie quite a bit. I really like Socks. I was surprised how much I like Socks.
Yeah.
I almost thought a Bing Bong was gonna happen when he was left in space, and then that movie would have made me cry, and then they didn't do it.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah, if he drifted away, I would have been like, holy shit.
See,
Right.
that's what I wanted this movie to have. This happening a lot. Like, I don't need death in movies, but like the emotional highs for me were at the beginning when Hawthorne does the hologram finger. That
Sure.
definitely got to me. And then past that, the highs of the emotions were not high for me. Not very high until the very end of the movie. So to add a little more drama, although the scene itself of Izzy in space, breathtaking. Love it.
Yeah.
I thought it was harrowing.
With her-
Absolutely love it.
With her astrophobia.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
And Socks is like, exactly. It's the most direct path. There's
Yeah.
nothing in your way. No.
Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. I'm glad it is like we did see Nega Socks die, which was sad.
So when Socks is in the helmet and he's just like, "No, but this isn't working. What do we do? What do we do then? How about this?"
Yeah.
You just see Socks floating in the air.
He coughs off a hairball, but it's a torch.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Everything
I-
about
When he turns
I like that a
the
lot.
laser eyes on. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, ooh.
I'm gonna get you. Socks. Oh, I'm sorry.
He starts getting pet by Izzy and is like, "Do you like that?" And he's like, "I do."
Why does he make that noise? Don't break my cat.
Yeah. Socks definitely from the trailers. I was like, oh, I really hope it's not one of those characters, but it ended up being so much better. Like definitely
being one of the-
MVP.
yeah, being one of the best characters in this movie.
All right. Anything else we want to add? Do we want to rate?
None of the Toy Story references bother me.
No.
The lines that are Buzz now quoting this movie is supposed to be the logic, but like
Mhm.
the reverse version of that, I really love that they really focus on him saying blast.
They say it a lot. He says it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's great because that's like that is Buzz's curse word, and he doesn't do it as much post Toy Story in those films, but like the fact that it's a frequent point here. I think Chris Evans is great.
Oh
Me
yeah.
too.
I think he just delivers a great performance. I like him as Lightyear a lot. I think he found a good way to have the voice of Buzz, but also make it more.
What
Yeah.
what was the name of Old Buzz again? The guy who plays Zurg, what's his name?
James Brolin.
James Brolin.
James Brolin. I'll be honest. For this movie, I thought it would have been cool if Tim Allen was the old Buzz because he's 70.
Sure.
I think that would have been incredible and like a fun like Easter egg, and it'd be like, "This is who I become. I'm actually a conservative and racist." I'm like, "No, Buzz." I think that would have been. I think that would have honestly like elevated the movie a little bit because I'm like, "This is who I become." Tim Allen.
I'm not gonna knock it. That probably would have been a pretty neat choice.
Yeah,
I think in a world where Tim Allen hasn't said some things that Tim Allen has said, I think that would have happened.
absolutely, yeah. He's still
Or
got
has a better sense of humor.
Got a Disney
Yeah.
Plus show coming out. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pixar probably was like
Pixar.
I-
yeah.
Visually, I love the cute reference to Buzz's first appearance in Toy Story when he
Yeah.
puts the Space Ranger suit back on again in front of Socks, and it does the Socks is in Woody's position, comes up from the legs, comes up to the suit. I thought that was cute.
They do the when they're in the helmet point of view, we see the
Mhm.
helmet reflection,
Mm-hmm.
like in Toy Story.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, I
all
thought they
the-
were all handled very well.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the Toy Story quotes, or we know from Toy Story, they were all very organic. Not a single one felt out of place. Even when he yells, "Not today, Zurg," I was like, "That's organic. That worked."
Or I always go back to like the one where it's like, Buzz Lightyear to Star Command, come in, Star Command. Why don't they answer?
Mm-hmm.
Very much like Tim Allen.
They call you Zurg. Why do they call you Zurg? Because they can't say Buzz. Guys, what's going on there? Where does that come from? What's happening there?
They can only say Z, I guess.
Like any actual answers, because like I'm just like his name's Zurg, so he's got to be Zurg. There's no real reason. I'm like, okay,
Fair.
whatever. No
Yeah,
answer.
anyone
Okay.
Anyone got an answer?
Well,
for
I mean,
that?
like, like what bullshit would I make up? Like they wrote.
Well, no,
it. Don't know.
I was actually like I wanted to know if there was like something I missed but it's just okay. I'm just making sure. Like, yeah, the Buzz the idea is so good, and when I saw it happening, I was like, oh, this is awesome. But then it was just like they did nothing with it, and I'm like, okay, that's a bummer. That's me.
I was gonna say something. I can't recall.
I think that like the movie like zigs away from evil Emperor Zurg representation. That's more like what the next thing would be, right? Like it's all the setup of him becoming that figure.
Sure.
And I there's a part of me that wishes that Zurg was anomalous from an old Buzz. Like I still want the old Buzz story. I think that's a good story point. I think that fact is very good. There's a part of me that wishes that was a separate element from the fact that Zurg is there.
I wish he was like he could even been like working for Zurg and not knowing he was evil and like he's gonna help me change the past or whatever. Like
Sure.
something like that. Like he could still be wearing a Zurg suit too. Like and that makes sense. Just him being the Zurg. Like it's like I have to go back in all of Toy Story and be like, wow, that's evil Buzz. And I'm like, for me, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Yeah,
I wonder if that Zurg toy's from the sequel. From Lightyear 2.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like he becomes evil emperors, or like that's the whole setup, right? Like where what context we have of Buzz with his ship, with his look for Toy Story is where the movie ends off. So whatever the future is, that's what they're marketing to with the toy that they make of Buzz for Toy Story. I kind of wish that those two things had been separate. Like I didn't need Zurg to be. I guess that's the main thing. Is like I didn't want Zurg to be his dad. I didn't want them to chase that road. Because I'm like that's just not gonna feel genuine. But I also didn't need Zurg to be anybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he's like evil intergalactic emperor. Like that's all I need him to be in a way. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind it too much outside of like what we've talked about, like the laziness of how he gets the technology and things like that. The arc of like this Buzz who took that one step too far that our Buzz is riding the line of taking, I think is still a good plot point.
Yeah.
I think another thing that I would have liked to see in this movie is a little bit more explanation of what Star Command is. Because there's no like because they say at the end of the film, it's like we're going to be Star Command Galactic Division, which I think is actually a sly setup for the animated show. Because that's I'm pretty sure that's what that was.
Star Command.
Yeah, Star Command. Well, because they're in Star Command.
No, I mean the show was called Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, right? Or
yes.
whatever. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
And like slyly setting up a potential. Like obviously they want to make that show again, but like that's kind of like the idea of in universe they came up with that show idea. Yeah, I kind of wish that we had more of a like what was like if they weren't Deep Space Rangers, what were they? I would have liked to have seen more exploration of that.
I honestly got more of like Star Trek vibes. Like they're like explorers more than they're like Green Lanterns. You know what I mean? Like galactic policemen. Like I didn't get the sense they were policemen in this.
They seem to have a known destination, but along the way they're charting any habitable planet. Habitable planet on the way, because that's the whole thing. Is they have a course, and then there's this planet that might be habitable, so they have to go check it out.
Interstellar,
because they're trying to chart everything as they go. It seems for where they could stay, or where they can make bases or homes. So it seems like they knew somewhere they could go, but along the way they have to keep kind of an open mind. And the Space Rangers are there to do the dangerous exploration of the planet before the scientists can come in and make their analysis. And I think that that's kind of a cool idea. This idea of like it's very like Star Trek exploration sense, but like if Star Trek had a like Indiana Jones type team that's ready to like get into action if it's need be when they go down to explore first, and then pull the information back so that the scientists can get on the ground.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Anything else? We want to rate it.
Mags in the chat saying that old school sounds of AOL and blowing air into a cartridge feels refreshing.
Oh, as soon as he took that and blew, I was like, oh, Ben's gonna love that.
Yeah, me too. All right. Final thoughts or rate? Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna rate it a 7.5. I think it's very good. Wish it was better.
Sure.
Banner Sparks.
No, I'll say it's a solid 8. I do agree it's not like super high up there in the Pixar echelon for me, but I still had a good time. Maybe if I once I do watch it again, I'll probably have a different opinion about it. All the things you guys said, the negatives definitely are valid. Like the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, the whole Zurg thing is kind of a bit of a cop out. Like, how did he get this suit?
I wish it wasn't valid, Ben. I really do.
I know. But I would stop. But I still had a really good time with this movie, so I'd still say it's a solid 8.
Beautiful.
All right, cool. Sparks?
Yeah, I think it could have been like it's not necessarily the grand Space Ranger adventure I would have envisioned. I think in many ways, like my biggest like knock maybe about the movie is that it almost demands a sequel to me, and I kind of wish it didn't. Not because like I don't think that would be good. I would love to see a sequel. I just wish I didn't feel like it demanded one. That I felt like I got full service of things in this film, and I'm like I got close. I agree with like a lot of the criticisms we were saying earlier. I'm not going to berate through them, but like I think they're there. I just think like the charm of Chris Evans as Buzz and Keke Palmer as Izzy, and like the lesson as ham-fisted as it is in the way that it goes, that Buzz has to learn really works for me as a storytelling point. So I go with 8 out of 10.
I'm the same. I will go with an 8 out of 10. Much the same reasons. I had a good time in this one. I think it's a solid sci-fi film. I do wish it was a 9 out of 10, but an 8 out of 10 is not too bad.
If they had to make this movie smaller and safer to give them the opportunity to make like a real ass like big space opera for the next one, and like that is the trajectory, then I'm happy for it. I just like the hype around this movie, and it's like the first that's this kind of thing of like we're going into the universe of Toy Story. And I'm like, I just like kind of expected more. And again, it's not a bad movie, but I'm just like, I feel like this is the one they should have put all of their baskets in, and it feels very conventional. As opposed to something like a Turning Red or a Soul, where it's like wild and incredibly inventive and like I just found it to be like conventional in a way that I didn't expect for a Pixar movie. Which again, it's supposed to be a '90s action movie, but even then, I don't feel like it's a 1995 made action movie. I feel like it's a 2022 Pixar movie. You know what I mean? Like I don't that aspect of it. I didn't buy either. If this was like a '90s like Shane Black '90s like action comedy, hell yeah, that'd be dope. But that's not what that is. This is a Pixar movie that came out in 2022.
It's mostly trying to be Mission to Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. All right, so shall we book club? It's getting late. Shall we book club? I'll leave it up to you guys.
That's up to y'all. I'm here.
I mean, I'd rather. I'm not going to be here next week to talk about it. So
All right, let's book club it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Book club.
Ben?
Yep, take it
Go
away.
ahead.
All right, you got it. So my book club this week is from the Journal of Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is from Star Wars, written by Jason Aaron, the 2015 run, and it includes issues 5, 17, 20, and a whole bunch of other issues, which the numbers are kind of
26 to 30.
That one, thank you, 26 through 30.
Also
So
materials from 37.
So these are like, I don't want to call them filler issues in the Star Wars line that was relaunched in 2015, but they are looks into how Obi-Wan was living on Tatooine. And since we're almost at the end of Kenobi, the show, I was like, Sparks said, "Hey, I was hoping to do the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi." I'm like, that's a great pick. Can I steal it? And he let me steal it. So here we are, gentlemen. What did you guys think of the Journal of Obi-Wan, or from the Journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Have y'all seen the TV show Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yes,
It feels like that.
it does.
Honestly, I liked it. I'm not gonna say I love every issue. I think they're all good. I enjoyed every one of them. But it's like, it's the thing where like, what do you do in the time period where he's not being the Obi-Wan that we know? And these are just like stories of him helping people, which is nice. But like, it's not doing a lot for me.
Yeah.
May I just real quick interject?
Yeah.
All of these issues are written by Jason Aaron because I just wanted to cover this first. Issue 7 is art by Simone Bianchi. And then we got Mike Mayhew coming in for the next 2. And then we get sorry, I gotta find it. Salvador LaRocca for a big chunk of them, the 26 through 30 chunk. And then Andrea Sorrentino for the last little snippet from 37.
Hell yeah.
I just wanted to get those out there because like we got different artists. They're all written by Jason Aaron. Every single one.
Thank you for the credit, art credit. Love it.
Yeah. I like the first one. The first little snippet is nice. I think it's a nice little taste. It feels like it blends into the show pretty well. Like that they were thinking about this being like kind of where he gets to post the show. And I think that works. There's particularly an excellent part where when he's meditating with Bones and he says, "You never trained me for this, Master Qui-Gon. You never taught me how to fade away."
Yeah, in a similar line, the last Skywalker I tried to train was gone. They were all gone, all the Jedi, and sometimes I wondered if I should have gone with them. Yeah, Obi-Wan's sad the whole time, like in line with what the show's going for.
Yeah.
This is a sad point in his life, just helping out water people, helping out Luke when he can.
I thought that was a really great line, just acknowledging how he's feeling in the time he's trying to help people keep their water during a drought away from Jabba. I really like when he does the Jedi mind trick on some of the raiders. Yeah. And part of it, what he includes is, "And I should mind my own business," so that they say it back. That was a really nice touch.
Yeah.
I really like that as an introductory to this idea.
It's fascinating to see the direction they took with how much of the Force powers he has in the show as opposed to the comic. Because in the comic, he's just still doing tons of Jedi shit nonstop. He's always using Force powers. Even lightsaber stuff. He's doing lots of lightsaber stuff too. And I actually prefer, for me, the more sad version where he has lost connection to the Force. Yeah, because that makes the Vader stuff so juicy. But it is nice for the comic that it's like he has to protect Luke.
Well, and like it feels like this comes later because at this point he has his house, which he does not have.
Good point.
In the show.
Yeah, I would definitely say I do. As I was rereading this, because I remember when I was buying the Star Wars comics back in 2015, I was really enjoying the bits of Obi-Wan because that's a part of Star Wars that we didn't see, and then now we do. I kind of rereading this, I really do enjoy seeing the Obi-Wan show because he's cut off from the Force and all that, pretty much all the same stuff you said, Ryan. But the story that I liked the most with Obi-Wan was him fighting Black Chrysanthemum.
Now you know how he got the scar.
Those issues are really good. Not just the story is good, but Mike Mayhew's art is just like that is like what I remember as a child picturing like Star Wars art to be.
His facial expressions are top notch. He has the most expressive really Luke, specifically Luke in like flying a plane, he has great smiles, terrific smiles.
He does. The one story which I really enjoyed it, but at the same time it just felt kind of was Yoda.
Black Chrysanthemum.
Oh yeah, that Black Chrysanthemum scene was so good. But so I want
before you move on to the Yoda one, I want to talk about the Mike Mayhew ones and then
let's talk about Mike.
So I want to talk about the Black Chrysanthemum stuff because I really like the relationship between Owen and Luke being put at the front. We get the great discussion where Owen comes to the house, which it feels like the show kind of also is ripping on. Instead of dropping parts for the ship, it's dropping the toy, which is the same ship.
Yep.
And just that energy that Owen has, like Owen's just a piece of shit.
He says, before you got him killed, talking about Anakin, haven't you murdered enough Skywalkers already, Kenobi? Jesus, Owen, give me a break, bro.
Yeah. His burns just got sicker.
Oh god. Yeah, Mike Mayhew's faces are just top notch, beautiful digital work here.
And Joel Edgerton's not looking too good.
No, sorry, Joel, you're not looking this good. No.
The whole time I'm reading this, I'm like, ooh, emotional damage.
Chrysanthemum looks great. I forgot this is his first appearance, right? In this one?
No, he shows up earlier.
No, he showed up in Vader. He showed up with in Vader. He shows up in Vader. Boba at the beginning looking for who Luke blew up the Death Star.
That's right. And he ends up teaming up with Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But this is still a great appearance. I love Obi-Wan having to save Owen and the combination with Luke coming in to catch him with the speeder. Awesome. I think all that's really cool. Again, Mike Mayhew's art makes this just a joy to read. I think it's just gorgeous front to back.
Yeah.
So I really, really love those two issues. I highlight them highly.
Real quick, Ben, my favorite page from it, it's at the end of the battle, like Luke saves Owen and stuff. And he's like, next time, Luke, I suggest not cutting it quite so close. Before we finish Chrysanthemum, I want you to know you're without a doubt the rudest Wookiee I've ever met. And then he starts talking to him, and Chrysanthemum, mid-sentence, just hurls himself off of the thing, saying if you don't treat yourself better, he's like, ah! He's like, I gotta get out of here. That's comedy. That is comedy.
That is.
Brandon, did you get to read these two issues?
I only read the first two issues.
Okay. So you got one Mike Mayhew in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get what we mean about the art being what it is and everything.
I read the third issue when it came out a long time ago, so it's been quite a while. But yeah, I really like the art in the second issue specifically.
Yeah. I think Mike Mayhew is God, Mike Mayhew honestly is the person who I want to see draw Star Wars all the time. I think he captures the Star Wars of my childhood.
Yeah.
The Mayhew art is phenomenal. And when I was rereading this, because I also read these back in the day, I got confused because I was remembering the Mike Mayhew art. I'm like, where the hell is? Oh, and then when I get to issue 2, I was like, oh, there he is. One of the lines for some reason just stuck in my head is when Obi-Wan is like, Master, thank goodness I'm strong in the Force, so I couldn't keep down my snake. And then Owen shows up, drops the parts. He's like, Owen, come in. How do you like your snake?
Snake.
Yeah, it's this bit. It's this bit where I've got all these collected in the single issue trades. Sure. But it's when he's got when no one's at the door and he calls his lightsaber.
Yes,
over and just kind of holds it by the door. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I love where Chrysanthemum ends up. He fled off world. Jabba feels betrayed by a bounty hunter. It would be a long time before Chrysanthemum was ever on Tatooine again. And there's the hardest image of Chrysanthemum I've ever seen. Dark hood, scar over his eyes.
Yeah.
God, Mike Mayhew draws beautiful people. beautiful Wookiees.
There's a great bit in there where Kenobi does a favor for the Jawas to scare off some Tusken Raiders, but he's trying not to use his Jedi abilities too much. He's like, I gotta find a better way to do this, which will be the Great Dragon howl later.
Yeah. Honestly, now that I've seen a bunch of Star Wars shows with the Tusken Raiders, like when the Tusken Raiders are going in, I was like, no, don't fight them. But
yeah, I also got that vibe too, where I'm like, you mistreat them, but I do like that later piece that's more kind to them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
But before we talk about that, we should talk about
the Yoda piece.
The Yoda arc.
So I don't hate the Yoda piece. I want to make that absolutely perfectly clear. I think as a story in itself, it's a great story with Yoda in the early days of Jedi. Part of the story of Obi-Wan, though, I do feel that this is definitely mismatched because when I read something called the Journals of Obi-Wan, I want to hear more of Obi-Wan's story, not a secondhand tale that Yoda told him that he is telling to Luke.
That is a weird thing. Yeah.
So, I mean, the story of Yoda on this planet with these stones and Field of Stone, I actually like the story quite a bit. And then when Luke shows up and he's like, oh, and then it's like, and it's this whole thing.
Yeah.
But I still didn't really understand the point of the story. I didn't know if the stone was Force. For a second, I thought the stones were maybe kyber crystals, but
no,
I didn't know.
It's a living Force entity.
Yeah, well, obviously when we got there, I was like, oh, they are living, breathing things.
Yeah.
But I was talking about when you first see those blue spears, my first thought was, holy shit, those are kyber crystals, aren't they? And then how they're moving rocks, I'm like, these are all Force sensitive. They're all willing with the Force. So it's like, this is like a planet full of Jedi.
Force rocks.
Or possible Jedi. And it's like, nope, it's just a giant mountain monster.
Stone throwers. Isn't that what they're called? Stone throwers?
Like
or stone power?
Rock hawkers.
Rock hawkers.
They
have stone power. They have stone power. That's what the Force is.
Yeah.
There's something that I really like about the Star Wars comics specifically that I just recently read in Darth Vader is the idea that Luke went searching for, like, knew more about the Jedi going into Return of the Jedi than audiences thought he did, because he went searching for a lot of this stuff. In the Darth Vader comic, it's revealed that he found Jocasta Nu had created a secondary archive to train the next generation of Jedi, and that was locked up when she died, and Luke finds it.
Yeah.
So having also he's got this journal that's telling him about a story before the Clone Wars is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really enjoying the first. This is like about a 4 or 5 issue arc. I enjoyed the first half of it quite a bit.
It's a 5 issue thing.
Once we get to like more than the halfway point, and we start being introduced to, like, I think his name's Garros, who's like the guy who trains Yoda. Once he becomes an adult and the Luke stuff comes in, that's where it starts to get a little like messy for me. I really like the stuff with Yoda, like being a mentor or being a trainee to someone else to learn a different way of using the Force. Yes. I think all that stuff is really cool and a really cool invention of the Force. And like the giant Force mountain, I think that idea is insanely cool. That's like the stuff we see in like Clone Wars and shit. Like I want more of that kind of like,
which is actually giants, which is really great.
Yeah, they're literally giants. It's really cool, but it's the stuff where like the warring tribes and the parent stuff, it starts to get a little messy and it loses focus.
I think the story could have been told in half the time.
Yes, absolutely. It felt too long.
That's part of my thing, is I just feel like it goes too long. Another thing, is Salvatore LaRocca known for tracing?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because the Yoda's almost always traced, and
he's the guy who traced the alien covers.
I thought so. I thought so. I wanted to be sure. That's why I asked you, but I was pretty confident of it because I'm like, Yoda's almost always traced, and you can tell. And it looks bad because he doesn't look consistent with the art of the others most of the time that he's in panel. Like, I know exactly what moment this is traced from. This is when Yoda's looking at Palpatine in episode 2 and is suspicious of him, and they traced it right in, he does not match the art style of all the other characters. He looks out of place.
He's hyper detailed when the others aren't.
There's also definitely a panel where he looks like the puppet from episode 1.
Yes, I know exactly which panel you're talking about.
And,
he was
and I'm
traced
looking
right
at
out
this
of
like, why does he? Because then there are other ones where it's like, okay, this looks like, the CGI Yoda that we knew or that we've known ever since the prequels, and now we get to a scene. It's like, why does he look suspiciously a lot like the puppet?
How'd you guys feel about this one? Yoda on all fours.
That's traced from when he's reaching into the little fridge thing that Luke has.
Wait, So there's a version of this Yoda that's just the puppet from episode 1.
Yes, it's
Well,
when he's with
like
Qui-Gon and
traced.
Obi-Wan.
That's
It's
fun.
traced. It's one panel where he's like looking up to the sky, and it's clearly the puppet from episode 1.
Salvador LaRocca, who draws my favorite Iron Man run, he's very hit or miss with people. He is exceptional at drawing anything that's armored, like Iron Man, Darth Vader. He did Darth Vader with Kieran Gillen.
Oh my god.
He's really good at drawing cars and like things that aren't real. So that's when he starts to trace. So the Yoda is hyper detailed when the rest of the humans are just like, just like open mouth agape, and I'm like, there's like a dissonance between these two characters.
Yeah, it really drives me up a wall a little bit. I found it distracting, especially when I was like, I know what frame of Star Wars this is from. I know what frame of Star Wars this is from. Just really kind of drew me out of it. And then I just thought, I like the story. I like the idea. I like the idea of the Giants. I even like how it is connecting to something with Luke with Garros. I just don't think it's as clear, and I think it takes way too long.
Yeah, I agree.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And then the final thing, it's just a couple pages from 37.
Yeah.
Andrea Sorrentino, baby, doing some Star Wars.
Yeah, this was like, okay, where was this the last 3 issues? Once again, I still enjoyed that Yoda thing, but at the same time, I came here for Obi-Wan on Tatooine. I got Obi-Wan on Tatooine.
Yeah.
So this is definitely where, like Sparks was saying, he is better treating towards the Sand People. Now that I've seen all like Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and Book of Boba Fett, excuse me, I'm like, now when I watch Star Wars again, it's like I'm like, Sand People, they're
maybe
good
Obi-Wan
people.
deserves to die.
What?
Due to his treatment of Sand People.
Yeah, but in issue 37, he treats them better. That's
he treats them better. He saves a little sand. He saves a sand youngling from stormtroopers.
Yep.
I know. I was just making a joke. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I really like the section where it's Obi-Wan in the journal talking, and he says the sand is their everything, their cradle, their grave, and their life's blood in between. But the Tuskens must always remember that there is one thing the sand will never be: their friend.
Oh, it's so good.
I thought that was so good. Like, this is such a nice little like snippet, just a beautiful little snippet of like life on Tatooine. It's very favorable to the Tuskens. It's nice to have Kenobi be put in that light. I just really like it.
Yeah, a little Tusken Force sensitive kid, right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was a
Tusken
nice little. It's a nice little, nice little tasty treat.
I think there's a Legends Tusken
Jedi.
Okay. I don't think any new and recent stuff, unfortunately. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, oh no, I still enjoyed reading this, or most of it was me rereading it.
Same. Yeah, I forgot that this came out 7 years ago, and I'm like, oh, I definitely read this, and it's been erased from my memory.
Don't say that.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Ryan,
Hey,
your book club next week.
it sure is. Let me pull her up real quick. Hey guys, we're watching Miss Marvel, and I'm not gonna pick just volume 1 of Miss Marvel because I feel like that's just like an easy thing to do. It is that's why I'm not doing it, because that'd be easy, and also that would give away some of like the plot elements that are happening in the show. And like, if you guys haven't already read it, then like just be fresh to that stuff, right? I don't want to ruin a potential thing that you're gonna speculate on. So instead, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be doing Marvel Team Up with Spider-Man and Miss Marvel, written by Al Ewing, art by Joey Vasquez, colors by Felipe Sobrero, and letters by VC Clayton Cowles. That is I believe, a 5-issue miniseries. It is a relaunch of the Marvel Team Up from, I believe, 2019. And the first arc is Miss Marvel and Spider-Man and Captain Marvel and stuff.
I collected this series in the singles.
Hell yeah!
Nice one, yeah.
Hell yeah! I didn't get to read this because I don't usually pick up the stuff that often, the Team Up stuff.
Yeah.
But I wanted a Miss Marvel book that wasn't her volume 1, where we'd have the whole story ruined for us, basically.
Sure.
So,
this is a solid pick, man.
hell yeah! I read the first issue yesterday just to test it out, and spoiler, it's a body swap issue where they swap bodies in the next issue. So I am very excited to read that.
So do you think they're going to do the bird in Miss Marvel?
The bird.
The bird villain, Einstein.
Oh.
He's the villain in the first volume of Miss Marvel.
Oh, that's I haven't read that in 8 years.
I would love them if they did the bird.
So, Ryan, I just want some clarification. Do you want to do just the Spider-Man part, or do you want to essentially do the first volume?
No, just do the first 5 issues. Yeah.
Okay, because so issues 1 through 6 are the first volume.
Okay.
There's 3 issues about Spider-Man and 3 issues with Captain Marvel.
Let me just pull. Sorry, I have it on Marvel Unlimited real quick. It's okay. Yeah, Marvel. Oh, sorry. So much stuff. Marvel Team Up, Spider-Man, Miss Marvel. Just the first volume. Just they'll collect all of them, so it won't just be Miss Marvel stuff.
So 1 through 6, they're all with Miss Marvel. It's just 3 with Spider-Man, 3 with Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, then I want all Miss Marvel. So yeah, let's do all 6.
So all 6. Okay.
3 issues is not enough reading.
All right. There you go. So next week, we'll probably also do Black Phone as a review. I think we're all pretty excited for that one.
I will try to read the book club and send you some thoughts before I am out of complete contact.
Yes, if you
Lovely.
don't mind. Ben, pull up Mags.
Will do. You stay safe as well, Mag.
Take
Goodbye,
care,
my
sir.
friend. Thanks for stopping by. Always.
All right, guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You can check out all sorts of shows we got. We got Fake Nerds Watch. We got tons of shows coming to Fake Nerds Watch. We have Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Boys, Stranger Things, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we just started Miss Marvel. That's coming soon. So stay tuned for all of that juicy, good stuff. Basement Arcade pause menu. Check both of those shows out as well. Fake Nerd Book Club and Anime Station are also on this channel that you can check out if you like this video and you subscribe to the channel. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to support us financially, we have a Patreon and a TeePublic. Appreciate it. Those links are down below, or you can find them on our website at fakenerdpodcast.com. Thank you to everyone who listens. I greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone who watches the live show, and thank you to everyone who watches the rewind. We love everyone here. Thank you to Jeremy Bellucci for our music.
Right over there.
You've heard
He walked past me 6 times today.
all the music you've heard here tonight, that's from him. All the music from our shows, that's also from him. You can find him on Instagram at Jeremy Bellucci Keyboards. He also does a podcast called Suburban Proctologist, which you can find on iTunes and, of course, Facebook at Suburban Proctologist Official.
I got a scoop that I'm not supposed to say.
Oh, are you going to say it anyway?
No, because it's not me to say. It's not my place to say it.
Thank you to Mike Matola for our logos. He did a couple logos for us and some collaborations over the years. We love that guy. You can find him at Mike Matola on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks, Grayson. Have a good night, Ben.
Bye, Grayson.
Before I get to the finale here.
Yep. See you next week, Grayson.
You the best.
All right. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All at Fake Nerd Podcast. FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BT McClure on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find my writing for Screen Rant, Atomic Geekdom, where I do some Infinity Saga pieces, and KaijuRamenMedia.com. I'm the editor. Ben?
No, I'm going to let Sparks say that bit. You can find me hunting down all the socks merch I could possibly find, especially socks with socks on them, so I can wear my socks at BenMagnet27 on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. You can also find me writing for Old School Gamer Magazine, which my first ever printed article in the magazine is here and issued to number 28. So, yeah, it's been a long time coming. They told me I was finally going to be published for them back in January. It finally happened. You can also find me getting published in Fusion Gaming Magazine, my latest article, and then it's going to be coming up in issue number 33. So if you subscribed, issue 32 should have gotten to you now, or at least will be. That doesn't have one of mine in it. We had to push it to 33, but 33 is coming. 34 is also coming, so yay. And also, I read for GoNintendo.com about 2 weeks ago. I put up a thing about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so go ahead and check that out. It should still be up on the front page of the blog.
Sparks?
You can find me going to infinity and beyond at SparksWitty on Instagram, Twitter, SPRKZWitty.
Ryan?
Hey, y'all. You can find me everywhere on the internet at DJ Tony Snark 616. I think I'm going to start streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake because I'm so effing jonesing for that game. I want it.
All right, guys. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to this, like this video, subscribe to our channel. Until next time you see us, guys.
In Cloud we trust.
Stay fake, nerds.